Okay, so anyway, spoilers is going to happen. So if you haven't seen the films at this point, what's the point? Someone's taking a leak in the background, and hey, welcome, I'm back.
Welcome to Twofold.
Hi, welcome to Twofold. It's me, Phil. I'm back from Japan. No, I shouldn't have said
But
that.
wait, who else is with you, Phil? I mean, you know you're back from Japan, but who else is here?
Oh, no,
Just you in the show?
we'll clean this out.
No, we're not. This is in the
Wait,
intro.
it's good.
It's good. Phil. This is classic.
What's
All
this
right.
classic? This is
Okay,
classic.
and with me is
Jake. My name is Jake.
cool, and with me is the freshly cut,
the king of Bratislava.
the king of Bratislava,
This is
Tim.
1 liter beer.
So
Yes.
yeah, the crew is back in action, and with us is the theme song.
Always a delight. Always a delight.
Beautiful,
Always,
beautiful.
always a delight. Always a wonderful team.
Team song.
I can't talk.
The Tim song. Yeah, it's
Oh
good.
man. And today's film, you know what? We watched some films today, and that's why you're probably tuned in on this because I'm the host.
Welcome, Mr. Host.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Hosty.
I'm so happy you
Welcome back.
actually decided
Yeah,
to wait
welcome
on me to do this. And I decided to have a movie on, and this movie happened to be Terminator: Dark Fate. Dun 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 dun. Ho, 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 ho.
Ha ha ha.
Oh,
Yeah. So listen, Terminator. What?
Why did
a
you pick this movie? Why have you done this to us?
tell us, Philip.
Well, listen.
Why must we suffer?
Why are we here? Just to suffer. Well, I happen to be a huge fan of Terminator. I love Terminator 1.
Like Terminator himself?
Beautiful. No, like the idea, the Terminator film, the story. It's beautiful. It's such a tragic, intense, action-packed.
This movie is truly tragic. I will agree.
I'm not talking about this movie. I'm just talking about Terminator
General Terminator.
1984
I know.
and T2 Judgment Day. Those are, cornerstones in my early life. I mean, we used to watch these movies.
We'll
a
get to
lot,
that, but what are
but-
we into watching today?
Well, I just thought because I can't think of any other movie, and I felt like, this podcast, we sometimes need a little junk in our lives. So
Sometimes you
decided-
need a little Mickey D's.
sometimes you need a little Mickey D's. And I thought,
20 nugs?
what better opportunity to talk about Terminator 2 Judgment
A
Day
nug
than
bag.
by watching another Terminator that just showed up out of nowhere.
Did you
it's
see
called-
McDonald's is having is going to sell like a bag of nuggets? Oh no, a
Nuggets?
bucket. Sorry, I think it's like a bucket of nuggets.
A
Dude,
bucket of
I'll
nuggets.
get that. Now when I order stuff from McDonald's, I buy the 20 nugget.
It's always the
Wow.
nugs for you, huh?
You just go like,
Perfect.
I got 20 nuggets in my pocket.
And it's great because while you're eating them, they never go away. It's just like, oh, and another, and another, and another.
It's like a
and
dream
another.
come true.
Yeah, like I've never been much of a nuggets person. I like them, but what can you do?
So I know we're going straight into the movie, but slight derailing. I remember long time ago, we were in Vienna and we were like maybe 10. And my grandma, well, our mutual grandma, kept going on.
She
that-
is our mutual grandma, yes.
She's no longer with us, but she was our mutual grandma. She still is, but not with us. Sorry, semantics.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Keep going.
But
Well done.
but she would always say, "Oh, little Phil was a little boy. He always wanted the chicken. That's it. Every time you go, like, can I have the fried chicken?" Now, here's my question: was she talking about KFC or was she talking about nugs? What was little Phil into?
I think it was the KFC.
You just want like the
chicken-
broomsticks,
yeah. The broomsticks.
no.
Yes,
The
I wanted
drumsticks.
the broomstick. I wanted
The
the
buttock.
drumsticks. I loved them. And I remember, Jacob, you went to the KFC once and you were like, I'll have a leg and a drumstick. And then the lady was, they're both the same thing. And then your mind was blown that day. But yes, it was always KFC.
Okay, so KFC little okay,
Little
We should-
KFC boy, drumstick. Loved it. Biscuit, drumstick. Great, good stuff.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
So Dark Fate.
Yeah, so Dark Fate. Dark Phoenix, Dark Fate. What else is there? There's
Did you know anything about this before you picked it, or
Oh yeah. So I think we all kind of. Did you ever catch up with any movie news that happened when it came to this film at all?
I am not really a Terminator aficionado. I don't think I've seen any of the Terminators besides the first two. So it was like it's like I have no idea what was happening.
How dare you have good taste, Tim?
I don't know. They just like didn't seem very interesting.
How dare you not suffer like all of us plebeians going to watch the other Terminator sequels that we.
So you've seen all of them?
We've seen all of them in theater.
Oh yeah. Why? Wait. So after all this time, you haven't learned your lesson yet? Or did you think it's going to be a little bit different this time? Do you think it's going to be?
No.
No.
Well, that's a good thing you brought that up, or at least I did. I don't know. 2003, Terminator 3 came out. Jake and I and our dad, we went to watch that one.
That's the woman Terminator, right?
That's with the woman Terminator. Didn't like it, right?
No.
Even in 2003, we kind of didn't really like it. And then Terminator 4 came out, Terminator Salvation, the one that McGee directed, and it was Christian Bale.
Oh, McGee directed that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Terminator Salvation.
Oh, I just know the freak out, you know? The lights.
It's classic.
Trash lights.
You want me to trash your lights? You want me to trash them?
It's one of the first memes I know, like on
Yeah,
that website.
da.
It was like a techno song on that website.
Yeah.
Like, what was that website called? Like something like W something. Like they would do like mashups of stuff. That was like the first
That's true. That was fun.
memes
Yeah,
back in the day.
What was the song? Was it like, what don't you fucking understand?
That's the one. It's fucking distracting.
I think I have that song somewhere. I think we downloaded it. I gotta find that. It was in my
That's true. I
iTunes
forgot
for like
about
the
that.
longest time. Let me see if it's still there. I might have deleted it.
So anyway, Terminator Salvation, to make that short, I feel like the movie was at least trying something different, but I watched it recently. It had the passion in it, but it just didn't land. We watched that with our dad too in 2009 when it came out in theaters in the States, and my dad, his comments were, I will always remember that. He said at the end of the film, he said, it felt like a bunch of kids made this film. And
I don't remember that.
That's funny.
I do. And so then 2015 rolled around, and then Terminator Genesis came out.
Which, by the way, we didn't see in
We
theaters.
did not see this in
Just to
theaters.
specify.
We did not want to see it.
Oh, but
No.
okay. Well, that's
we did
with
watch it.
Khaleesi, Daenerys, Mother of Dragons.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's
The only thing I
with,
know is like, it has an old Terminator as well, which is like same
Yes.
as this one, as Dark Fate. It's like old
And-
Terminator junk
I
again.
think so.
Yeah, but in this movie, they ruined the timeline. They just kept hopping into different timelines and its alternate timelines, and it was kind of PG-13, so it was also like trying to be hip with the kids or something.
Genesis,
I don't
right?
know.
Mm.
Yeah, Genesis.
Yeah.
And it was like
was horrible.
lighthearted. It had moments of ridiculous out-of-place comedy. It was
Yeah.
not good. It was not good. It was no good. It was really bad. And oh man, and then it was also had Skynet as a person. Remember that? It was
I
ridiculous.
can't remember, honestly.
Mr. Skynet, our good friend Skynet.
I just know that John Connor was the bad guy.
And John Connor was the bad guy.
Oh,
He
it
was
was
a
a twist.
Terminator. Yeah.
He was a
and
Terminator?
The twist was in the
Yeah.
trailer, so it didn't even.
Oh, I didn't see the trailer, so
it
I
was
don't
bad.
know.
Anyway, that movie came and went. It was horrible, and
So you said it had some mixed up continuity, which I was under the impression that Dark Fate it was a continuation, a sequel to the sequel, to Terminator 2.
yes,
Yeah.
and
But having to
you have
watch
to
Terminator 2 for this episode, I realized that is not the case.
Why?
Didn't you
What?
see the last scene in Terminator 2?
we just watched it. I cried at the end of Terminator 2.
I know. I think
When the
Tim's
thumbs
also.
up.
You're talking
Sorry.
about.
What
not
is
true.
this?
No, that was a
That
deleted
was
scene.
yes. Jake and I, we tend to be pretty big fans of T2.
I love T2.
We've watched this film since we were kids. Like I remember watching it at a friend's house when I was very young, and I mean, there's things that disturb me about that film, but there's also things that I loved about it, and I've always wanted to know about it. And so there's a lot of behind the scenes knowledge that we have with this film, and
I am not a Terminator 2 aficionado, so I wasn't aware.
The ending of Terminator 2 is just a shot of the road, and then Sarah Connor narrates the final speech, and then it closes. So
Yes.
that's the real ending.
So it's just George Lucasing all around everywhere. All right, okay.
well, someone did it.
That's
I
the
don't
world
know.
we live
Someone-
in.
Someone did that.
Yep.
Anyway, so Dark
McClunky.
Fate, right? Dark Fate.
Yes, Dark Fate.
Yes. So Terminator Dark Fate. This was supposed to take place. Ignore all the sequels. Now it's just a sequel to Terminator 2. Just like the last one, Genesis also said, ignore all the sequels. It's the sequel to Terminator 2.
You keep doing it, and it'll maybe one day.
It's a little embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's
So,
fucking distracting.
Since we're getting to the film, I think
Let's go.
We could ask Tim a question because I think that he probably has. You have a little less Terminator history in your life. So, walk us through what you were thinking while watching this movie, and what is your knowledge of Terminator?
The funny thing is, I watched Terminator 2 when I was about 9, 3 times, starting at the same point, which is after the what's that laboratory called where the man's developing the Terminators? Cyberdyne, right? I watched it from that point till the end 3 times. Can you try to guess what was the situation, what place I watched this?
I'm assuming someone recorded a VHS from TV.
That's interesting. Very close. But Jake, do you have like a guess?
No.
So once students started going from Serbia to Slovakia to study, there was this illegal business of these guys driving in vans, people, right? But before that, like it was like a thing. Like you would pay the guy, and they would drive you through the night. It was great. It was like comfortable, much more. But back in the day, before 1999 bombing, you could only travel by bus to Slovakia, and it was a night bus that went from Novi Sad to Bratislava, and it went twice a week. And that guy who owned the bus, he would have this one TV in the front, and every trip he would just play Terminator 2.
What?
Everybody knew this. This was like the famous bus, the Terminator 2 bus. The dude would just play Terminator 2. So that's the only thing. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night with like a movie playing. So I was like, oh, what is happening? And 3 times I traveled, and 3 times I started to watch from that point. So the only thing I knew about Terminator is like they blew up the place.
That's amazing.
The guy chases him on the bus, and then like I've seen the thing that was engraved in my memory was like Sarah Connor, like one hand reloading the shotgun scene, right? That's the only thing I knew. So that was the Terminator 2. And I think a lot of movies, a lot of like culturally significant movies that I didn't come across throughout my life as a teenager or something like that, like in American pop culture is like very, big. A lot of them I didn't actually see until I was about 20 when I lived with this guy, Sai, that was on the Matrix podcast. We talked about him before, and he had a huge DVD collection. Like, it was humongous. And I moved in with him to his house, and he brought his DVD collection, and I had this part-time job, so I had a lot of time, so I just went through all the movies, like classic, like all the Aliens and everything that I missed. And that's when I watched Terminator 2 and then Terminator 1 for the first time.
That's cool. So basically, when you were a grown man.
I did not watch Terminator until I was a man.
So what'd you think?
And I think like I'm on the thing that I kind of prefer Terminator 1. It's similar, like the tonality difference is like Alien 1 and Alien 2.
Yes, it definitely is.
Alien 1 is like maybe like a little bit low budget, B-ish, kind of horror-y, like kind of thrillery stuff, while second is a good old action, R-rated action movie. So, and this is the same thing. So I'm a fan of that one. Now this, what did I think of this movie? I don't know, man.
Terminator,
this is like
Dark Phase. What have I done to you?
It's I don't even know where to start because it's like it starts off with a weird like.
Yes.
I thought I was watching a PlayStation 4 demo for some reason.
Jacob said the same thing.
I was saying that, like, they had the Lara Croft. Tomb Raider effect.
Tomb Raider effect.
But it wasn't like the video game. It was like the cinematic trailers. Cinematic trailers they put on E3, like for trailers for games. It's like, and it was just
like this world that we created.
Okay. Yeah. And it was like,
it's interesting. Yeah. I just cutting you off here real quick. Yeah. I wanted to say that it is, a very jarring beginning. I was quite perplexed by the choices that were made. First of all, we're in this wonderful tropical island.
Yeah, it's like a video game. It's so crazy.
But the funniest thing was that for to their credit, for like the first couple of seconds when I see Sarah Connor in 1998, I thought, oh, how do they do that? For like a few seconds.
Until she moves. When it's a still image, it works.
Until yeah, I think that animation is always the hardest when it's subtle movement, and then when you see her kind of a little bit longer on close up, then you can see the Lara Croftiness, as Jake said when we were in the theater.
And
but again, I wanted to say one positive thing: John Connor looked pretty good in most of the.
They look all good
shots
until they
in.
start moving. It's like it's just like they managed to get Uncanny Valley out of like images, but as soon as they start moving, it's just like Jello. It's like, what is this? But one thing, it's jarring visually, and secondly, the story's jarring. Like
Yes,
because it's like the only thing I remember like reading about. I didn't see the trailer, but it was like because I didn't want to like spoil in case there was like plot lines usually in trailers are revealed. But it was like, oh, this is directly on Terminator 2. It's going to continue the story. You know, it's all what about the Terminator 1 and 2 is about, and then immediately it's not about that. It's like
immediately John Connor, he's dead.
Like 1,
That's
2,
the thing,
yeah, exactly. 1, 2 is all about John Connor. John Connor's dead. That's it. And I'm like, what?
My favorite part was like in the beginning, I was thinking like, oh, okay, so they're gonna do another thing again where it's new characters and John Connor's not important.
But it's
like,
here's the thing.
And John Connor's like the main dude. And it's like, what's wrong with him being the leader? Why does it always be new leaders?
But the funny thing is like, okay, so they give you the message. All right, no, it's not it's not about Terminator 1 and 2. This is a new story. We're going to take new places, right? So you're like, okay, we're going somewhere new. No, we're not. This movie's so derivative.
No, we're not.
That it's like I don't think there's a single new element. Like everything is just a remix. Everything's just like taken out.
Tim,
I think we all agree.
exactly.
Here.
I was
on the money.
I think
like,
when I was watching
worse than Force Awakens.
Oh, that's debatable. But
What?
We're not opening that until December. Okay, we're gonna wait until December for that.
What?
Fluff buddies in the headphones.
Nice. Okay, so
I too have mine.
Yeah, that's what I said, buddies.
So for people who don't care about this movie and won't watch it, a T-800 model shows up and kills John Connor in a tropical island, and Sarah is very sad about it. And
Sarah is devastated, and then he just walks away into the sunset.
Yeah, the Terminator.
Basically canceling everything T2 stood for.
Yep.
And
As usual, everyone cancels out T2 all the time.
But like the idea of them sending more because it's in the future is fine. It's a fine idea, right? It's like it makes sense. It's unlimited. You're all sending to one point of time. Like why would just send one? Yeah, sure, they changed the future, but whatever. It's a fine idea, and it's a fine idea. Like, okay, so you have to send a Terminator, and he does his job. What does he do next? He can't go back, right? What has happened to him? That's a good idea as well.
That's what I thought too. That's what I was telling Jacob when we left the theater. I was like, that's one of the concepts that I think could work. Because like, what does a Terminator do when he's done?
Yeah,
I mean, he should just just deactivate.
What does he do? Yes, like self-destruct or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but no, he finds love, but he doesn't procreate. He doesn't have a robotic Terminator little thingamajig. And he says so specifically.
Our relationship is not physical.
well, okay, so let's... I'm pouring myself.
I love how Tim is just pouring this gigantic can.
I have a
beer.
So usually we have 2 beers, but I went to the store that's close by. By the way, I hate this store. Let me tell you why I hate this store, right? So here's the thing. Recently, us millennials, there's this sort of, everything's bio, everything's eco-friendly, which is all great. It's amazing. The only problem is greedy corporations take this and they just use it as a label to sell money, right?
To sell money.
To sell money. I would like to buy
to sell money, exactly. So there's this, and so you have like great stores,
It's a very
local
gracious
stores.
corporation.
Yeah, sell money. So you have local stores, which are awesome because you go to talk to people and they're experts. You go to the grocery, you buy some fruits. Then you have like little, stores like Yema, which is like, it's a chain, but it's local, and they have a bakery, and they have great bread they cook there, and they have local products. It's awesome.
Cook bread in water.
Those are bagels.
They sell
Yeah,
money.
sounds good. I like that.
Stuff.
But bagels are cooked and then baked.
I know, yeah.
So they bake the bread there. It's not frozen product that's just put in the oven like in any other stupid chain. But now there's new. This is like the last thing. There's this stupid store called Krai, which is like it's marketed by all the Instagram people and everything. Like, oh, this is the local provider stuff and everything. It's great. Okay. It's just another stupid ass store that just has everything like labeled local, but it's not. It's just everything that's in a normal Notice store like Tesco, except it's more expensive.
That really sounds so honest and great.
So I walked in there and I'm looking and I see this. It's an IPA in a 1 liter can. What the hell is this?
It's so big.
So I thought I have to take this on the podcast. So I did. And I'm going to drink it.
For our listeners, this beer, think of like a Monster energy drink, but like double it. That's what it looks like.
It's bigger than my head. It's ridiculous. And like I've seen these like stupid Russian beers that are big like that, but those are lagers. It's like a full-on IPA. This is
right.
Weird.
Does it taste good?
It's decent. It's like a European IPA, not American, like citrusy, but more grassy, classical kind of. It's not bad.
It's a big old 1 liter grassy beer.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
We're talking about Terminator Dark Fate. So anyway, the story was basically just Terminator 2 again, except with new characters such as Mackenzie Davis, who is a cyborg, I guess. That's what they are.
She's the only good thing about this movie to me.
Yeah, Mackenzie Davis.
It looks like she takes it seriously, and she also is visually identifiable and different. And she's like doing
like the
this
way she moves and the way she fights.
She's like this. She's an enhanced human, right? So
yeah.
So the way her action is very Terminator-like, but though she's human, so she's emoting and she's like, the way she because you have the classic, I'm a Terminator from the future, but it's a Terminator 2, I'm going to save you. Yet she's emotional and empathetic. Empathic?
Mm-hmm.
Empathic, I think. No, which one is it?
I don't.
Empathetic. Empathetic? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then
so you like that?
I agree. She's also kind of grumpy, which is great. I kind of like that too. Her fighting style is also very different when she was fighting the bad Terminator, and then there's also our main target character that needs to be saved. Mm-hmm. Our non-John Connor character.
Our just regular boring old human. She's a goody two shoes,
and she will be the savior.
She'll be a soldier in the end.
Oh, speaking of that, that was something.
I guess it's like a Sarah, because like in the Terminator 1, Sarah Connor is just like a regular old gal. I mean, she goes totally crazy in number 2, but I guess it was like copying that. It's just that she was so boring, that girl, our protagonist.
Very.
Yeah.
Oh, my brother, boring. Do your homework. Learn English.
I forgot about the brother. He dies, doesn't he?
Yeah. That was his death was written over that guy's forehead.
Oh,
yeah. My father.
Oh yeah, and her father's dead too.
Eat your empanadas.
And there's not much to say about her, but then we also have Sarah Connor, who is back, played by Linda Hamilton, who is, I loved seeing Linda Hamilton again. I was wondering why she isn't in more movies. I haven't seen her in a long time. But, other than seeing Linda again, the character was
she doesn't do much. She has a couple of one-liners.
Do a lot of things.
Like after Terminator 1, she loses her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
And no one dies. It's sort of like I know she knows that the world is going to end, so that's driving her crazy. But I would think she would go double crazy after losing her son. But she's like so normal and chill.
True.
Yeah, she just likes potato chips and putting the phones inside the potato chip bags because that's going to hide the signal.
Didn't she learn from Terminator 2 that you can trust some Terminators?
Yeah.
Listen, what did you guys think about the terribly non-menacing villain?
Oh yeah.
You know what I was thinking?
They're not called Terminators anymore, Jacob. This is a different story, and it's different.
What are they called? I know they're called Legion. It's not no Skynet. It's just a
Legion. There's no Skynet. There's Legion now.
Huge difference.
Oh, there's no John Connor. It's the girl.
Whatever her name is.
Yeah, and she's not. It's not her. The twist. Do you want to talk about that? The twist that didn't make any sense and was disappointing to all.
What twist?
Like
What
where
twist?
it's like, oh, it's probably going to be your child, and we find out,
That
oh,
was
it's not your
so
child, it's
lame.
you, and it's like,
That was so lame. And it's like, obviously it's her.
And even that, and it's like, I get the gesture. It's like, oh, you know, why is it always got to be the man? And it's
I
the
know,
woman
but
that
that's-
can be.
but it
It
makes-
makes so done
because it
wrong.
doesn't-
it doesn't make any difference. That's the problem.
Exactly.
And it's not.
no
and
difference.
here's the thing. It's like, oh, you know, that, like, I understand what they're saying because it's like, oh, I'm just a woman and I'm here to birth the, you know, the savior, the Jesus, and that's why my only, you know, importance. I can be a hero too, which is something that Terminator 2 is all about, because Sarah Connor becomes the badass and becomes, but that's a really nice way of dealing with it, because it's just semantics of the story. If you're someone from the future, right, and you have a fearless leader who's leading the rebellion, are you gonna go kill him, or are you just gonna kill his mom so he never gets born? Like, what's the easier solution? You know what I mean? Like, that's just like, if I was sending someone to the future to kill Hitler, just to kill his parents, you know what I mean? Or kill him as an infant. I know this is horrible. This is like in Thanos, you know, when in Endgame he's like, why don't we just go back in time and find baby Thanos and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's,
yeah.
like, it's taking personally, but it's just that it was convenient.
But there is no our emotional involvement in this is nothing.
That's also true.
Like for me, it was just like, it doesn't matter if you are going to be the resistance leader or if your offspring is going to be the resistant leader, because in this story, the way that you presented it, it doesn't make any difference. They're both the same. They're interchangeable, because it doesn't matter what you're doing in the future. Right now, the problem is that you're a target, and it doesn't matter if it's your child or if it's you. You're gonna, you know, you have to survive.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, like like the guy who directed this is the man.
Tim Miller,
who did
your
Deadpool.
favorite director.
Well, that's not my favorite director. I like Deadpool, but I didn't see anything else he made. Did he make something else?
I don't know.
All right.
So,
but
I have
But
comments.
yeah, go, Jake.
I wanted to say that things I liked about the movie were that the action sequences were pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
There's some.
Hey, do
Like
you have any
the
examples?
one in the
'Cause I'm a little
factory?
bit- I'm running a little
sure.
bit.
Car chase sequence was
Which
pretty
one?
entertaining. The one on the highway where they're driving away, and
Yeah, it's like Terminator 2.
when before or after Linda Hamilton comes in,
Yeah.
that was pretty entertaining. Some of the
Yeah.
action sequences I think were well edited. They were pretty well executed, I think, overall. All
Here's my
things considered.
question. As far as action sequence, did you notice, or did you have trouble always noticing, you know, Blade 2 rubberiness on the digital CGI
Oh
stunt
yeah.
doubles?
I don't know what
It was
it
a bit
is.
too distracting. Like, I
I
understand it's
can't-
2019. What's happening?
I know.
I can't tell if it's just that we're so used to spotting these things
Yeah.
as individuals, or it's just
In general, the state of the
general state.
No,
of-
it's I think it's just because like MCU movies, like the new Spider-Man movies, there are entire sequences that are actually all full CGI, and you think it's like, you know, a combination, you know, like green screen or stuff like that, and you would never know that's actually CGI. But here it's like, it's just, I don't know, a lot of it was just so painfully rubbery. Like the
Right.
people were flying
And-
places they shouldn't be flying.
Anyway, let's go back to the Rev 9.
all the things that you guys were talking about is true, and I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to say that the reason why I don't like any of the Terminator sequels post T2 is that the reason why Terminator, in my opinion, is so interesting, fascinating, and what makes the first and the second movie so good is that the concept of the Terminator, of this heartless, cold-blooded computer calculating machine is hunting somebody. It's a very, very terrifying idea and concept. And like you said, Tim, at the beginning, Terminator 1 nails that, right? It's almost like a thriller sort of horror where this, you know, machine will stop at nothing.
Yeah, it's from the
destroy
future.
Sarah.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
James
nothing you
Cameron-
can do.
And what do people...
James
how do
Cameron
people-
invented this because he had a nightmare of a machine chasing him.
Riding a bull and then shooting him in the ass.
Exactly. And see, and then you get thinking about like, man, how do we as people even stand a chance against these machines? You know, we have emotions, we have feelings, we're fragile. These machines will stop at nothing, and that's terrifying. And then the intro of the future that's completely desolated, and these machines just rule the world. Terrifying concept, right? The second movie takes this in a little different direction, but you still keep the essence of that concept, right? That's why the movies work so much. The sequels, they just totally throw all that away, and you have nothing that's close to why the first movies are good. And so that's my.
I would argue cartoons. Yeah, go on.
But I would argue that this one does the same thing, but I think at this point it doesn't work anymore. I think
I wouldn't say it does the same thing, but I do agree.
But
maybe
what you were
it doesn't work
talking
so
about, the
much.
thing that there's a unstoppable force of a Terminator coming from the future, and this guy isn't unstoppable, right? It's not very exciting, but it's the same concept, and he is from a future where it's exact same shots of a Terminator squishing a skull, and it's a beach full of skulls, and it's like every picture, every like imagery is just pulled from the old ones, and just like
this whole movie is pulled
You
from all
know
the old ones.
This is all cobble it up. But no, what I wanted to say that, Phil, we were talking about this earlier after the cinema, was that, this movie, for instance, when we talk about the bad Terminator, the baddie,
The Rev 9.
they give Terminators, let's say in this case, the bad Terminator, some kind of almost animal-like characteristic, which to me totally is the wrong direction and defeats the purpose of
it
why the
being
Terminator works.
Do you have any examples?
Yes.
Sure. So let's take, for example, the ending of the film when they're like battering up the Terminator, and the Terminator basically almost screams when it's getting punctured. That's not the Terminator. That's just totally wrong. Like, and I think that
I think they took that out of Terminator 2, and when a good Terminator splits and he's like making those weird sounds, like
Yeah, but that's at the end. That's at the end.
when he's glitched out, and it's
just like pulling stuff, and they're like,
yeah.
this
But you
is
see what I'm
Terminator,
saying,
this is
right?
Terminator.
With the whole idea.
Okay. Yeah, I agree, and I think
I agree. I agree that doesn't, like, it just doesn't have the same essence.
So basically,
kind
what
of.
I'm trying to say is that what is the point of making these movies if you're not capturing the essence? That's it.
Well, this is what I want to argue. I think deep down, I think there was Tim Miller or the writer or whoever was who brought this in. I think initially they had an idea what to do, and then it's the classic. Oh, it's a big IP.
Too many
or studio,
fingers in the
whoever
pie. Too many
are
cooks
too scared
in the kitchen.
are afraid of going well, because it just goes all over the. I just understand, like, why can't I don't know like it's just so boring and so lame and so it feels so directionless.
Yeah,
I agree. But
there's like 3 different aesthetics in this movie. One is the Hideo Kojima animation. Second is like super modern action scenes. Like we start off with PlayStation Land, then straight the what's her name? Girl Terminator?
Grace.
The hybrid.
Grace.
Gray pops in, and that's like super modern, like this super effects. You get to see the transportation from time, like like crazy new effects, right? Mm-hmm. She fights. It's like everything that's cool, and then it goes to like modern day Mexico, which is shot like an indie movie. It's like it feels like film and everything. It was just like,
if you're gonna talk
3
about
different.
That, yeah, for me that was just, I was watching the film and how the cinematography in T2 in particular, how they illustrated a lot of things with the look of the movies, like how all the daylight scenes are a little bit overexposed. They're a little bit. They have always a strong shadow, stuff like that. And then the night scenes, these cold.
The aesthetic was
cold
just thematically
blues.
Perfect. With what the story was telling.
It felt like a machine. It felt like artificial. It felt like
I felt like a thrilling movie. It felt serious. It felt like something was at stake here. Even though you have Arnold going "Hasta la vista, baby," but it's still sellable.
What I love about also, let's say, for instance, in this case, T2 or even T1, you have these like even ideas or themes of like hope and not giving up and stuff like that. But it's all in this backdrop of this very bleak,
Yeah.
dark world.
Foreboding.
Even in the present and the future, very similar feel, which is what makes that so great. And if you notice this movie, when I was watching it, there was a scene in the factory, and the first thought I could think was like, this movie looks so happy. Like, this is so.
That's what I'm saying. It felt like
nice.
an indie movie. It was like watching a
colorful it is.
Bollywood movie.
And I thought to myself, like, this is a Terminator movie? Like, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like 3 people were shooting that movie, and it like you like it was so bizarre. Like those hard changes from those things. I was like, where's this going? Who's holding the wheel of this movie? I want to know.
Yeah. I want to know too, because that's what it feels like. But hey, we didn't even just talk about Arnold being in it.
Arnold, yeah. What did you guys think of Arnold?
I was waiting for him to
in
show
it.
up. I don't know. I thought it was kind of entertaining. That was the most entertaining part of the whole film.
Look, the cool thing about when movies like this come out, even if they're bad, you get to see one of your favorite actors act again. And you can be like,
I don't know. It was
fun.
just like I said, it's a cool idea. Whatever, you know. Like I wouldn't put him having a family. I would maybe put something else. Right. It was a weird, bizarre thing with the kids and him talking about life
awkward,
and stuff.
It was bizarre.
It was awkward. But it's like, I don't know. Like I would, if you go that direction, I would make it even more ridiculous. You know, like he's a machine. Like I don't know.
Make it a comedy.
So you're saying I think
not even a comedy, but like he would just be like talking about like trying to teach them virtues of you know, like it wasn't like he was very understanding.
The upholstering.
Yeah, the upholstery.
Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah, that was actually
I mean, like,
funny.
there was a funny scene, but I think I would take it a little bit to extreme. Not like absolute like comedy, but I would like him trying to explain like because he's very understanding. Like they go in the scene, it's like, oh, I understand, you know, why you are sad that I killed your son, right? Like and it's like very so like vanilla to me, that conversation.
Right.
Like I would go like him would be
it
like
didn't go very far, did it? It would just
like I would like, to me, I know this is so stupid, like, but if you would go like to like a hardcore religion or something like that, and he's like trying to tell Sarah like, oh, you know, light about the life and all this stuff, where he's like super hippie or something like that,
right?
But not like comedy wise, but just like the conversation. She's like
so you
just
explore
perplexed.
that idea a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just like
fun.
he's too chill and he's too normal. Like to me, like a machine wouldn't. Like how did he end up so like just a normal dude?
Good
Like it's
citizen.
so boring. Yeah, just good citizen. He turns into, you know, Commando.
But that's why what I found the most fitting was funny was when he was talking about, you know, like this man showed up in my shop and the couple wanted to get for their newly born daughter, they wanted to get draperies and they wanted a solid color, and I said, no, you don't need solid colors, you need something that appeals to children, like
Patterns,
unicorns, balloons.
Yeah, polka dot.
Yeah, but that was like that's like some color to the characters. Like honestly, it was just like compared to like Terminator 2, it's just like everyone's so different and so specific, and you see their motivations and everything. This was just so like movie like, just boring ass Hollywood script. Like, oh, her parents died, she's a good person, or like Terminator.
We have to stop the
Terminator's
Terminator.
coming. He's got a skeleton and he's liquid. Yay.
By the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed. I think people forgot, but because Terminator 3 is not a very, you know, popular film, but this was very much the same. So when Terminator 3 came out, I was, and this is interesting. As a kid, I was actually really disappointed. I think we saw the trailer or something, and I was like, that's all they could come up with. I was like, the second one had the ultimate Terminator, liquid, right? Liquid metal. Like, how can you get any better than that? That's perfect.
What's in the
Moving
third
shapes. Guess what? The third one is a blend. Endoskeleton plus liquid over.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing again?
Same
Yeah,
thing.
except
But I don't understand how is that like a plus?
I don't know either.
I don't
As a kid,
I don't
I was
know.
confused. I was like, this is
even
not
Jacob,
better.
when he was 10 years old, he watched this film and he was confused. Why is a liquid over
I
endoskeleton?
was like, how is this helpful? Like, it was the best.
Like just why don't they send 2 Terminators? You know what I'm saying?
I know. But no,
You
Tim,
get
this
the
guy
same
can,
effect.
This guy can split. He can have a
That's true.
skeleton
He can
Terminator
split.
and a human-looking Terminator at the same time. This is the peak of Cyberdyne.
Yeah. Well,
But
here's
the thing is,
it's
like,
not Cyberdyne.
it's so
I
good.
know, it's
No,
whatever.
But you
Legion.
know what's the funny thing? It's so inconvenient because, like in Terminator 2, Liquid Guy can turn into himself into anything, any shape, because you know he's liquid. But if this guy, let's say he wants to turn into a child, he can't do that.
No, he has to put his
because the skeleton will be in the way.
Or his skeleton will be in the corner watching.
Send the skeleton away. Go
Which is
on.
super weird.
Go away,
I need
skeleton.
to morph, man. I can't do this with you watching.
can't with you
skeleton.
watching.
My favorite is how he makes the skeleton like drive and stuff. Go drive the truck. Like,
The skeleton always gets the worst jobs.
and or the skeleton, you're gonna blow up
Yeah.
when the truck crashes, but I'm gonna go over
Yeah,
there.
you lose a limb, I'm fine.
Yeah. So I just wanted to tell you that, Tim, which is interesting because I think a lot of people probably missed that this is pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That
Look,
already
this,
happened.
honestly, like watching this movie, this whole thing was pretty much the same as any of the other films, and I'm just so like I can't believe that this was a thing that happened.
I know.
But then again, I wanted to do this because I'm a little bit like that, and I like torturing you sometimes.
Was there?
I guess, but like torture me was something even worse. Like this was just so
This was like what Hobbs and Shaw.
probably.
Levels.
Oh wait, here.
I pick my movies well. Okay, so
one leader.
in conclusion, I just want
what's
to
the conclusion?
conclude this. I don't know what else we could talk
You wanna
about
collude.
after
Not
this,
much.
other than it was nice seeing Arnold again. It was nice seeing Linda Hamilton again. But the film itself, I can't believe that every single thing that they mentioned in the movie when they said this is different, it's not different at all. And I don't know, like it's not
that's the most
it's not
interesting part.
Skynet, it's Legion.
Right, and I wanted to say
What are
that-
they? Robots from the future.
This is why I still like I just appreciate more Terminator 2 as the years go on and these new movies come out, is that all they do is just cancel out T2, and it's like, guys, don't you realize by doing that you're just making T2 look so good?
Yeah. And they made Sarah Connor boring. She's just like a one-lining machine. And, you know, whatever they brought a new Terminator as a threat. He was boring. He was a boring dude. He looked boring.
Super
He acted boring. Like, he didn't even have a face. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Terminator.
And also, like, I wanted to
Dark
say
Fate.
again, just to not to repeat myself, but just to finish my thought about this whole concept of the Terminators, is that so in some of the later movies, they did this in Salvation. I think at the end, they did a little bit here at the end, where the Terminators or the AI, they're talking and they're discussing, they're saying why they are the best and why Skynet is good. And
Did they
this
say
guy,
that?
this guy said that the Legion Terminator was like, "Join us, the future."
Legion reminds me of just like Radeon, like that's
Like a
ATI.
What's Radeon?
ATI Radeon, the
graphics card.
graphics
Is
card.
one called Legion?
Oh.
Because they're all red and
And
black.
I'm just
and
trying to
they
say,
look
like
they
that to
come
me is
from-
like it's so beyond ridiculous and stupid when they do those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Because again, this is so far away from
what
the Terminator.
everything Terminator stands for.
So that's all I wanted to say.
But it's like, yeah, like you can compare like from Terminator 1 to Terminator 2. All the classical elements are there. Skynet's there. There's a Terminator. But with plot and characters, they able to pull off a completely new movie, right? That's
Yes.
different in tone, different in plot, but yet all the elements are here. Now, this is like, everything's changed, you know? Legion is now everything. So they changed everything, but it's still just a boring old,
the same old,
same old thing. So what do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be, because they said, all the previous sequels don't matter. This one's better. Now, what I'm waiting for next time they're going to do another Terminator movie is going to be like, all the sequels, including Dark Fate. No, they're not. They're not. This new one is endorsed by Cameron, which are all the previous one have been as well.
Oh, I'll tell you something about the endorsement that Cameron gives.
Cameron Winter.
But-
He mentioned that for him it ended at T2, obviously, but he also says that I gotta support my friends.
You gotta help him, man.
Gotta help him.
Gotta keep.
So
those
do you
friendships,
think like we've been, you know, this keeps happening. Endorsed, sucks, no one likes it. Done. Do you think the true, if they want to finish the trilogy, Cameron's got to return and make like a proper
I
one?
would really not like that.
I think we're good.
I think you're good. I think there's one in there. I think there's one in there.
Oh, no,
somewhere,
no.
Like
If
like an old man Logan style.
Yeah, I agree. I said we're good just to be safe, but I didn't know how far you were gonna say what you wanted to say. So now I backtrace and I say yes. I always thought
I
that
don't
there
know,
was
guys.
gonna be one
I
more.
think the juice is not there.
The juice.
I think there's a, like late old man juice. I think it's like the time is not right. I think old man juice, because like, you know, like watching this movie, I was thinking like, oh, you know, Skynet, like AI has, you know, advanced since whenever the hell these movies were made. Is it going to be about Facebook of surveillance? Is it going
That's
to
what
be
they did
topical?
in Genesis.
Oh really?
It was bad.
Oh god. I was thinking
No,
that's
that's
going
what
to go.
Skynet. That's what Skynet was in Genesis. It was actually called Genesis, and it was a social media.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Yeah.
I guess I can't. I guess if the sucking in Genesis, I guess you can't make it work. The walking Facebook Terminator. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to?
Oh yeah, the good news is that we paid less money for the movie in the
To
cinema.
watch this,
It
yeah.
was like discount Wednesdays.
So that's good.
So,
Oh, you got discount Wednesday. I got discount Mondays.
yes.
Very good. And you know what else is discounted?
What?
The box office.
Oh, tell us.
The budget was about 185 to 196 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. This movie felt like it was a $12 million.
It's a lot for rubber action.
Yeah, and the box office at the moment is only 200.
As of November
As of
14th.
I don't know.
1955.
I have to say a lot of the lines just reminded me of just filming Castle of the Barons. I don't know why. Our old movies that we made together when we were kids, and it's just like there's a lot of lines where I just felt it as I felt deep empathy for the actor, as you understand what the line says, but you have no idea what it means in context, so you just say it in the most generic possible way, and it sounds wrong to you. And it sounds wrong in the movie, but there's nothing you can do about it because you just don't understand what the context is. And there's just like a lot of like, exposition,
Yeah.
And what's that? That's the Terminator 3000. It was developed by, and then the exposition goes
by Mountain Dew Technologies. Yeah. Gamer fuel.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
well, that's the movie.
That's the film.
What can I say?
Yeah, don't go watch it. Probably.
I don't
Wait
think
for like a
No.
home release.
We took the
Wait
hit.
for the plane. Go on a trip to Japan. You can probably
Or-
watch it on the
or be in a van.
Wait for the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy will play Terminator Dark Skies or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay.
Keep hitting. Oh, I knew. Yeah, that's it.
So, tell us
Song?
what you think.
I won't be back.
Tell us what you think. If you heard of it, you can tell us a review of the trailer. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Texas.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure one of you watched it.
Probably.
Just tell us.
Tell us.
Yeah.
I like Terminator.
Should we go to a song?
Yeah.
Song time? Where is song? Wait. Before
Johnny?
we play song,
Oh,
I have
yes.
beef with Johnny. Johnny. I think Johnny's getting fired after 30 years of working with us. What the hell, Johnny?
Johnny,
what the hell?
honestly, man, I love you, but I don't know what that was.
What happened to Johnny?
Did you hear the song he
Johnny's
played
still
last time?
here. Did you hear what he? What
I
was
thought it was
that?
What
great.
rubbish Johnny
I loved
played?
it. You mean the?
Do you know what that song was? That song was horrible, terrible junk that me and Jake recorded probably in 2007. And the way it recorded, it's
a
the
good
most
story.
bizarre thing ever. So for some reason you found what a four
A
track,
4-track
like
tape
a
recorder.
tape recorder, but not like a tape, like big tape. Like what is that tape called?
Cassette.
Cassette
So
tape.
you
Yes,
pop in the cassette, you have 4 tracks, you have an input, you can record 4 multiple tracks and mix on tape.
And the
Right.
geniuses of us thought it would be great if we record some music on the tape recorder, but not in the room, but through Skype. Like I was in UK and you were in US, so you would hit. So how do we?
I think we did this. I think we had
What are
this-
you guys talking about?
The song Johnny played.
I know it was fine.
song-
It was absolutely
Well,
beautiful.
then you want to hear the story
way
behind
recorded.
the song.
Do you want to play it again?
No.
No,
Johnny
no.
had his chance. He blew it. But listen, since he blew it, we can explain. I think we had we were on Skype, right? And then I had
Yes.
the 4-track tape recorder. And then what I did
Yes.
was I plugged in the input on the 4-track, and the output I plugged into the Mac input, I think. Or
What?
Some,
No,
something
you just
like that.
you from the Skype you plugged it. Yes, the output.
Yeah, so the output
you
of the
couldn't hear what I
computer-
was playing.
Yes, the output of the computer went into the 4-track. And so the output
so you
was
couldn't
effectively
hear what I was playing.
Skype, right?
Yes.
And I would hit record.
I just send you a message that said
Oh, that's
record,
how it
so
was
you know when to hit the
recorded, right.
record.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so listen to this. This is amazing. 'Cause
And then
the Skype signal, right? The crappy Skype signal was being printed onto tape after it traveled over the ocean.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, and to make it even more, lo-fi, I didn't have a microphone. I just had headphones. But it's a neat trick that headphones are actually microphones. If you just plug them into the microphone port, the membranes will act as microphones. So what I did, I couldn't hear what you're saying either because I was using my headphones as microphones.
This is the big question, though. How did you sync up then your multi-track recordings?
We didn't sync up. It was just
Hilarious.
loads of randomness. So I would
That's
put
fantastic.
I would put the headphones like on my guitar, like acoustic guitar. Like I would put headphones on the head, and I would play some nonsense. We would sync on chat, like record now. Where you hit record, I start playing, and then we did 4 tracks of that, and then record that song. And Johnny thought that would be a good song to play. So I think Johnny might have his Christmas bonus taken away. I don't know.
Johnny, I don't know. We're going to have to discuss this
Goodbye, Johnny.
later this week. So, Phil, please be present for the meeting with Johnny.
All right.
Yes, I think Johnny, we have a 3-1 with Johnny.
So just think about your
3-1,
actions and think
Johnny.
about, be careful next time you play a song. So
Johnny,
you will be
I hope you have
terminated.
your song proper selected now.
all right, Johnny.
All right, hit it.
If someday I get on top of a unicorn 幾何学的幻影狂った模様 Life goes on but there are things that never change 現実を誰あって前の前 SOS send it out to the universe 計画的衝動波乱ダイヤボー
Dynamite.
Yeah,
That was killer.
it was pretty good.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
I think Johnny might have his Christmas bonus back. I think he really.
Yeah, Johnny. Well, this was a special song that I found because I was in Japan. And through my travels in Japan, walking through the streets of Shinjuku, Shibuya, Roppongi, all these places, there are a lot of buskers. And not buskers, but I guess you could call them buskers. But like a lot of artists that you can see playing out in the streets. And the quality, just like the quality and the the service in Japan, they're really good. They know what they're doing. And in this case, what I saw in front of Shinjuku Station one night, and I recorded them, put them on Instagram, got them a little bit of cred. I mean, they don't need any because all their stuff is well produced, is Taro&Jiro, which are two brothers who make some cracking music. I really love it. Really, I think it's fantastic. So you should go there. This one is called Unicorn. It's a song that I actually listened to while there. And so, yeah, follow them on Instagram. It's Taro&Jiro, pretty much just like that. It's fantastic. But yeah, Taro&Jiro.
That was a nice track. I'm thinking maybe double bonus, little extra.
Yeah, something for Johnny Jr.
3 billion human lives ended on August 29th, 1997.
What?
The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare. The war against the machines.
So a new nightmare, Legion. And you know what's a new nightmare?
No, Legion's gone.
We're done with Legion.
You know what's a new nightmare? Horal, Volba pal pivnik znalcu, IPA. Aydin Pale Ale, brewed in Czech Republic.
All right. Well, listen.
Packaged in 1 liter. This is the beer
That's
I'm
great.
drinking.
So let's talk about my beer for a second. Mine is called the Zmajska Pivovara. Right. That's a beautiful, wonderful, classic Croatian. It's called Dragon. Right. Zmajska Dragon.
They've been around.
Dragon beer factory, and this one is called Cyclone.
What's the disturbance?
Can you again go with Zmajska Pivovara? The video and audio cut off for me.
Ready?
Boop. Well, we have this wonderful beer that I'm drinking. It's from Zmajska Pivovara, which is translated from Croatian as Dragon Brewery, Dragon Brewery.
Dragon Balls.
Or Dragon's Brewery is another translation that is valid, and it's Croatian, and it has a dragon on it, and they have some great IPAs.
Isn't it a collaboration or something?
I guess Brewer's Concoction is the second one, but it's called Cyclone, and it is delicious.
What's the style, Phil?
Yeah, what kind of beer is that?
It's an IPA.
It's delicious. I think that's the kind.
New England IPA. That's what it says. Sorry, guys, I'm not a beer expert. I just drink it and I like it.
I mean, look, there's a man here with a 1 liter beer. I mean, clearly.
Well, I'm clearly an expert. I know.
All right, Jake, what do you have?
What do I have? Let's see. I have Međimurski lepi dečki, which means nice.
Whoa,
nice
lepi dečki? What? Oh,
yeah,
that's a classic line. That's a classic line. That's what your mom calls you. I love that.
Lepi dečki.
Lepi dečki.
And I love that word.
The beer is called The Dark Side. Perfect for this episode.
Oh, is it like a Pink Floyd thing? Yeah, that's a Pink Floyd thing. It's got even the Pink Floyd cover, Dark Side of the Moon.
So it's a cool design, and it's a porter, and it tastes like a porter, relatively.
Relatively porterish. So Phil, you've been in Japan, haven't you?
That's right.
Hey, bugger, sneaking off,
not joining you on the next podcast, abandoning
sleeping
the show.
In pods,
and
touching deer
you on the podcast.
No, we didn't touch any deer.
No deer touching.
No, we didn't go to the what is called by my friend Mara the asshole deer, because
asshole deer.
Those are in Nara, and that's close to Kyoto, and they just want your food. So why do I care about them?
Okay. Oh, this is great. This is talking about Japan. So I had some questions planned. So
hey, how's it going, everybody?
Japan.
I came back from Japan.
I'm back from
How long
Japan.
you been there? How was
Japan. Question 1? Phil, that's question 1.
Huh?
How long were you there?
I was there for about 2.5 weeks, maybe
what
less
were you
than
doing?
that.
Where were you on November 12th?
Who was driving?
I was here November 12th.
Did you drink alcohol?
Yes.
I
Smoke
did
weed?
drink.
Did you get caught?
No.
Yep. Did you do cocaine with Japanese businessmen?
Well, no, listen. So my first question is, so how long were you there? Did you say the answer to that one?
I said about just over 2 weeks.
Nice.
Okay. Who you with?
Second, That's true. Who
I
are
was
you
with, this is going to sound interesting to anybody who's listening, but I was friends with Michaela, her name,
Who was
or
on
Mike.
our old podcast?
She was on our
ages
old
ago.
podcast ages ago, and I was friends with her over 11 years. And I've never met her in person until we both decided to go to Japan.
Wasn't that super weird? Like when you meet someone like like through video and stuff like that and see them in the
Yeah,
street.
but I think...
It's like the most
but
bizarre feeling I've ever experienced
it
in
is
my life.
bizarre,
Strange,
but
yeah.
I think that I've met enough people already that I'm used to it.
But did you? But wouldn't
So you just
say
want to
that,
go and like touch their face, like you're real. This is weird.
No, it's right. Like I think the bigger, the strangest stuff that you like when you meet someone is when you meet a celebrity or someone that you've seen in films.
yeah, that's
or,
like
super
like a
weird.
or in
lot.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you look at them and you're like, their heads are so
So
small.
here's another question. And they're
The
so
heads
short,
are always
usually.
too small. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
They're so high res.
Well, do you know what's also weird about the celebrity thing is that like some movements that they make, normal human
Yeah.
movements, behaviors, you don't see them in like interviews or
yeah.
performances. So you don't connect and you're like, what is this person? Why
And
are they
also a
moving
high
different?
frame rate as well. It's like weird. Everything's so fluid.
HD.
You're
60
used to them
FPS,
being just like 2 frames.
pixel block.
That's right, exactly. It's so fun, so weird. But anyway, yeah. When I met Michaela, it was a little awkward for me 2 minutes, and I was okay.
But don't you think that one thing that's interesting phenomenon is when you chat a lot and you don't, let's say in this case,
you
meet in
don't.
person, the tone of voice is different when you chat than when you talk. Would you say?
Yeah.
It's something really
It's different, especially when I listened to the podcast. I was in Japan.
Okay.
The previous podcast.
Yeah, where we
The
trash
famous
talk you like
podcast?
crazy.
You guys trash talking me.
We trash talk you so good. Paula
was
got
it?
drunk and she joined the. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
she did. She joined. she
No,
joined.
not only
It was
she
fun.
joined, she led it. Like she
Oh,
was
she
the
did,
king,
yeah,
the leader
yeah.
of the.
of the talk.
Yeah,
It's
But
true.
what
We're
was-
both drunk.
Before I mention anything more about Japan, I just wanted to say I was listening to that while Michaela was having a tattoo done in Osaka.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really close to this national park called oh crap, I don't remember the name. But
I thought it was
it's,
going to call crap.
Oh crap.
I'll look it up. What does it look like?
it looks like it actually you can actually see it very clearly
Describe
on
it
Google
to
Maps.
me. How many trees?
Actually, you can really see it clearly on Google Maps because it's it looks like a keyhole.
it's the
Tim,
shape
type
of a
in keyhole. Type in keyhole park. Go.
keyhole park.
Japan.
Oh look. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Let's actually see if that comes up with anything. Keyhole
I'm
Park.
curious if keyhole park.
Let's see who gets
Keyhole Park, Japan. Oh come on,
Anything? Any
it's gonna be
keyholes?
good. Kofun.
Guys, this is premium.
Yes, that's it.
broadcasting.
That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
it worked! It worked.
Did it?
You got it.
I can't believe this stupid joke turned into a reality. That's amazing. Kofun. There it is.
Yeah. Pretty much that kind of park area, and it's from 500 BC,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a big mausoleum from some ancient king. And anyway, it was a
Emperor.
holiday. It was a
Or the
holiday. Families were out. A sunny day. Some ancient houses were still there. And I was walking around listening to you guys talk about the king and Shakespeare. So now all I think of is being in Osaka and just walking around.
What'd you
in
think of the
sunset.
app?
App was great, guys. I have to say,
My kind of
everything.
style.
Yeah, everything that you said, it was fun, and I was happy to listen to it.
Did you like
That's
my
good.
impression of you?
Did you like it?
I don't remember.
Oh, good. Okay, never mind then. Nothing happened.
I
Nothing
can't
happened.
remember that.
I think
Nothing happened.
We're clear.
It's all good.
We're clear.
It's everything is clean.
Okay, so here are my questions.
All right,
So,
let's do it. So I was in
For-
Japan with my friend Michaela.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were in Tokyo.
She's super cool.
In Tokyo, and then you went to the
Super
south
rad.
of Japan. Shout out to Michaela. Hello.
Or Mike.
Hello.
That's what she
Hello.
said,
Oh, interesting,
too.
Mike. I didn't know that. So you and Mike went to Japan and Tokyo and the south of Japan later on
Yes.
the, as I called it, the Shinken train.
Yeah.
I call it the
Shinkansen.
Shitaken train because
The Shitake train.
See, many names for the train.
what's it called
and
actually?
Shinkansen.
Shinkansen. Yeah.
I'm sure Phil will tell us about his Japan rail pass at some point.
Oh, yes.
But let's
yeah,
leave
the,
that aside.
the pass is good.
My big question is this: so, if you could name two of the favorite parts about visiting Japan, only two, what would be the top two things that you like the most about?
I'm interested in this too. I'll wheel in my chair closer.
Okay, well, is it a cop out if I just said that for me the the actual
No.
environment itself
Okay,
was
sure.
one of the most interesting things that I felt when I was there, because for me, it was a completely new place to visit. Doesn't matter how many videos you listen to or watch or you consume.
smell.
It's the smell. To be honest, it is the smell, because it
Dude.
smelled so fresh there.
I just don't want to interrupt, but like I so agree with you. It's like I've been to many big cities, but going to Asia, mine was Bangkok, and it's just like you come out of there and like this is a different world, and I'm loving it. It's like my animes. Like, did you feel like that as well?
It's like my Japanese animes.
Oh, that's right, because you went to Asia.
But what I was happy about was that Michaela's a huge weeb.
What's that mean? Inform me,
Weebo.
I'm a grandpa.
Yeah, it's a
Anime fan,
It's-
white.
it's a weapon, like that. It's a distortion of the word Japanese. It's what people usually
People who are like Japanophiles.
Yeah,
Yes.
but not Japanophiles. There's a difference. The difference is that Japanese means someone who is white who wants to be Japanese.
Yes.
And so it gets distorted throughout time, and it turned into weeb, and that's just a general term for someone who likes anime now.
Yeah,
So it doesn't
yeah.
Would
really
you be
matter.
consider yourself a weeb or no?
I don't know.
I don't think Phil's that hardcore. I think he's like a light
No, but
weeb,
and
like a
to be
part-time
fair,
weeb.
to be fair, Michaela isn't that either. But it's just fun to trash talk the other.
She's
person.
more than you, so technically, then she's
Yeah,
a
she loves it, and it's all
Weeber.
good. And
weebier.
but I have to say that when we were there, and I was asking her like throughout the trip, I was like, "Is this just like your Japanese animes?" and she said like, it really isn't, because once you go to Japan for real, it's like no one watches anime all the time. And it's like it's real life, you know. No one does this. It's not like my Japanese animes, but there are environments, elements, traits, things that people do that remind you of that, because that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
And it gives you a new appreciation of the country itself. And what I loved about the country was its organization, was its sense of community, and you could really feel that when you're there.
Very cool.
I think for me, it was like looking at your photos that you posted. It was just like, it was the little things, the things that, when you watch like a Miyazaki movie, it's the background renderings, like the way the build.
They look just like them, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the way the things are arranged, the buildings, how they're shaped, and the cars, how they're shaped. It's just like all the little tiny little details. It was just like, it speaks to like that you wouldn't necessarily. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah.
at least, like the second, the second smoke that I got from you with your pictures.
Yeah, the second.
Yeah.
My metaphors, my metaphors are horrible.
And like, I think the biggest thing that Japan probably you could be pleasantly surprised at, is just the service and how like incredible it is.
This is number 2?
Yeah, no, this is number 2. This
That's
is still
still
the same
number one.
number one.
Number one.
And the service itself was just like, I was surprised. Like, I know that many people who come from Japan, they always say the same thing, and I didn't want to sound like that, but it's true. I can't say any different. Like, it's
So you would say in the world currently that you visited,
Yeah.
you'd say top.
yes, they treat you like a lord.
A king.
Yeah. And like when you go there, everything is like the employees take the extra step to be
That sounds
kind,
awesome.
to be generous, and to be very orderly and organized. And if you follow those rules, it's smooth as butter. Like, there's so many things that are open 24 hours.
Really?
I'm walking around 2 a.m. because I have jet lag, and I go to a 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, Lawson. Those are all those chains that have food. They have drinks. They have.
Did you go there specifically because it was familiar to you, or it was the only thing open?
It was convenient. That's why they're called convenience stores for a reason. And
Okay.
in this case, it was super convenient. You were walking by somewhere and like, I don't have toothpaste. Where's my toothpaste? Go there. Convenience store. Toothpaste. Perfect.
Oh, the TSA agent took it from you. He snagged it out of your butthole.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
So you're
it's
smuggling toothpaste.
things like that. But also, this is what's so great
Your
about it.
butt
These
feels
convenience
so-
stores, Tim,
smells
I don't know
fresh.
if you know about these convenience stores. I think everyone else who's listening probably might be familiar with that, but I'm not sure. So I'll just reiterate this. In those convenience stores, the food is so good. You have no idea.
What do you mean?
sounds
What
really
food?
Like, there's chicken on a stick. There's fried
there's
chicken.
Fried chicken. There's onigiri.
Onigiri with the Japanese
Guys.
rice balls.
Probably shrimp.
Guys, do you guys have cheeseburgers in Lidl?
Yeah, yes. We did.
I had
Did you
it.
get them?
It's the most disgusting thing in the world.
I didn't want to try.
I had to. I had to.
I would love-
That's what
I
I'm
would-
picturing now,
super
because you're
bad.
saying like convenience store food. I'm just picturing the Lidl cheeseburger, and it's
Exactly, Tim.
horrible.
This is why I want you to come to Japan. And I know, like, you made fun of me about this when I was already in Japan. You guys like saying Philip's always talking about, like, come to Japan, you're missing out. And I seriously think you should go. You should
wanna
go to convenience. Go to
wanna go
convenience
too.
store. Eat
I want to
all the
ride the
food on
Shitaken train.
Shinken.
eat all the food in the convenience
Shinken.
stores. You won't regret it. It is
Phil, I'll eat
super
everything.
good. It was super good.
I know so
eat
much about
some
Japan.
Kobe beef. I'll eat some.
Kobe Bryant.
I've seen so many Japanology episodes that I feel like Japan is in my bones.
Yeah.
But I haven't been there.
I think it was cool. And now the
I just want to
second
go chill there, like be just like
Yes,
no plans.
that's
just be,
exactly
like,
what we did.
Taking in the
That's
environment.
exactly what we did.
I
Suck
agree.
it in.
That's exactly what we
Like in
did.
the second hand, first hand smoke.
Yeah.
So what was your and you can't cheat on the second one. What was your
No,
second?
I won't.
And it's like a personal one
Yes.
thing that you experienced.
I got one.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so
The Godzilla store.
that was
Geisha.
great. But like,
geishas,
geisha aren't prostitutes. That's a misconception.
Oh, they're like
They're just entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. I thought they were like what's that word? It's not a prostitute. It's like a escort.
Escort? No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
okay.
Geisha are like
No geisha
professional
with
entertainers. They
happy
used
endings.
like in the old days. It was just to entertain rich people.
But wait,
And,
entertain like
you play-
talk to them or like a burlesque
talk to them, sing songs, play games with them, but not.
So an escort.
Sexual intercourse.
But the
Well, 'cause you don't have-
relationship wasn't
you-
physical.
Arnold, because that's an escort. You go on a date with her. You pay extra for the sex, but like that's not what you
okay.
what you do. Like you usually pay like if you're like a businessman and you want to go to like a social gathering.
Because
Yes.
Isn't
Okay,
escorts-
that's what it is. But there's
illegal.
It went in Japan.
No, like let's say people like escorts aren't like.
I don't think it's illegal like a job
It's not
that
legal
you're
everywhere.
registered and you pay taxes. I don't think so. No.
I see.
I think it's
Yeah.
like there's agencies, but I don't
Anyway,
know how
let's-
they
let's-
work.
Let's
What
move
are
away
we
from the
doing?
geisha. Let's
Yeah,
move
what is
away
this?
from the geisha.
But a
and let's-
sugar daddy and a
I
sugar
wonder.
mama, that's totally
Okay.
Okay,
All
back
right.
to Phil's second.
All right. So my second thing. Now this is interesting. So Michaela, as opposed to me, when we were there, I was an idiot and I was super nervous because I felt like I learned a little Japanese and I want to say Japanese to the Japanese people, but I was too shy and I was too afraid. And then
Okay.
also the other thing was that Jake and I have a history of watching so many Japanese documentaries, videos, just anything about Japan for many years that
like
they
modern
just
stuff or
Yeah,
like even
modern,
history,
modern,
like,
modern.
like medieval.
No, like modern, like for instance, there is history. Usually, there's a show on YouTube. It's not on YouTube. It's on NHK
on NHK.
called Japanology, where basically each episode is dedicated either to an object or a thing,
Okay.
or a service. Let's say, for instance, like fast food in Japan, and then they talk about it for half an hour.
And they also have like
talk about the history of fast
Yeah.
food in Japan, and they have some examples. They interview people, experts, and things like that. And they have stuff from like episodes on just scissors, the history of scissors.
Yeah,
all
in
the way to
Japan.
what's
Can you believe that?
important to school,
Crazy.
to the train, the Shinken train.
yeah, the Shinken trains.
Everything. So seriously, I can't recommend it enough. If you're interested in Japan, like this is going to be so much more interesting and educational because they go in depth.
Yeah.
I can't believe the Shinken train is like 50 years old.
Yeah, 60s I think started.
Yeah.
50, yeah.
Crazy.
All right.
Sorry,
So-
that was my plug.
So when I was there, all that like for the first few days, all that came up in a rush. Like, oh no, am I gonna like offend people? How am I gonna behave at a like what is the etiquette?
You're going to
somewhere
be
here?
an annoying American tourist.
I don't exactly, Tim. Exactly. That's what I was afraid of.
I
for
know.
the
I know
first
your
couple days.
insecurities.
Why do you guys have such insecurities about this? I don't understand.
and
Like,
then
you're a
look,
tourist. I mean,
and then
fine.
during our stay there, during our stay there, we
What do you expect?
we talked to our friend Eric who has a YouTube channel because he lives in Japan.
Katie
and
and
his
Eric
wife,
have the
yeah,
YouTube
Katie.
channel.
Yeah, they travel. They did an amazing like around the world travel as well.
Oh, there's the
It's
guys who
interesting.
visited you in Croatia?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah.
got
Okay,
to
yeah.
hang out with them again here in Japan.
That's
Japan.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Isn't that
and
cool?
he said, don't worry about acting like an idiot because in Japan you'll always act like an idiot. So I guess that's the thing.
I think it's interesting, but I would say that, for instance,
And no one cares.
the way
because-
I look at it is this. So first of all, by definition, you are a tourist. There's
Exactly,
no escaping that.
yeah.
You are a tourist. There's no
Yeah.
escaping that. That's the first thing. Second of all, if you just think about the bar, where the bar is set, there are many people who are horrible tourists. And
That's what Eric said,
Who don't
yeah.
even plan on understanding any of the culture or any of the etiquette. And they go in there and they just pretend like, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I can't read this. I don't know. Someone has to help me. Everyone has to help me. Those people are annoying, right? If you're anything below that on the bar, or above that, rather, you're golden.
Yeah,
because people
that's what
understand that you
everybody
won't
said.
know
But
everything.
anyway, after a few days, it went away. But anyway, what Michaela did was a great thing. Was she didn't care about any of that stuff and just went into whatever random place we
good.
went to, and I was just like, okay, I got better do that too. And
That's
so
good.
Michaela,
I think that was really good for you because you're like super calculative and nervous, and you're like, oh, I don't know.
I'm
if I should go
ridiculous.
there.
I'm,
This is
So it's
I'm
good to have a
ridiculous
person
about
like
that.
that
Happen.
with you.
Yeah,
I think that you would probably
And so-
enjoy the trip less if you were just by yourself.
Oh man,
maybe.
yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah,
It was just like
so
eating shrimp at McDonald's like for 2 weeks.
that was
It's
a
like-
good
it's like,
one.
Phil, where'd you go? Lawson's.
Okay, you guys are being
I'm
a little. You're not
joking.
giving me any credit here. Okay,
So Phil,
so
defend yourself.
okay,
Go.
so we
Didn't hear any
so
arguments.
Michaela wanted to go to a sento or a onsen, Japanese bathhouse. What's Tim laughing about now?
Just the barrage at Phil. He's not here. He's here. It doesn't matter. It's just. I think we changed the podcast. Shit on Phil on the podcast.
Okay, so anyway, she wanted to go to a sento, which is a bathhouse, Japanese public bathhouse, and because that's what you do. That's one of the cool things you do in Japan. That's one of the things that are rooted in its history. That's what everyone used to do. Go to public bath. As you know, we established that I kind of didn't want to go.
Okay.
But I did want to go, but I didn't want to go, but I did, but I didn't. I didn't really
Yeah, I
want
mean, like you don't wear shorts at summer, so that tells you
exactly.
something.
Can you imagine that? So what happened was
You walked in fully clothed.
no, what we this was in Osaka.
You had
She only
pajamas under your pants.
we only had one day
You had
until
invisible clothes.
we only had one day until she got a tattoo, and you couldn't have a fresh tattoo in these bathhouses. So
Right.
we had to do it then, or we couldn't do it at all for the trip.
So specific time.
All right. Yes. And so we were walking towards, this was like 10 p.m. We were walking to get to this place. We had to find one that is tattoo friendly also because Michaela Michaela is pretty much
And I
just
believe
like
the
a
sign
walking
is
tattoo.
Tattoos, okay.
And yes. And we had to find
Which
one that said,
I have no idea
it
why
said
I
tattoos,
know that
no
fact.
problem.
Which I have no idea why. From what I know that, but I remember like some places because tattoos traditionally mean mafia, and if you have tattoos, you're mafia, so you can't go to some bathhouses. I don't know where I
Yeah.
read that, but
I
yeah.
don't know what it is, but it is like that, and it's still like that. Many people are still suspicious about that, which is ridiculous.
Anyway, go on.
And when we were getting to closer and closer to the place, I was like, I hope it's closed. I hope it's
Really?
closed. I don't
Oh,
have
you're
to
nervous.
go. I was
Aw.
nervous boy. Okay, but then we went there, and it's. I mean, obviously, like because it's more traditional, there are foot lockers at the entrance, right? You have to put your shoes in that little locker, and the key is wood. It's like this big wooden plaque, and it says the number. So it's like already different, right? Some people were already going in. You order your. This is wonderful. You order your time, like your entry fee. And then if you don't have a towel, you rent a towel and you rent soap, but you don't do it at the desk. You do it at this vending machine. So you put your money into the
Pretty
vending
Japan,
machine and you press the buttons. Now,
Okay.
being Japan, not all of them have English on it. So we were both very confused.
So it just had there's written in Japanese, right? In symbols.
Yes. And for the prices. And there was this Japanese man who walked up and he's like, need help? And I'm like, yes, we definitely need help. And he's like, yes, yeah, I will, he's telling us.
punching the stuff in
Yeah,
the...
for
Yeah, he's
us,
asking
because we
questions and
didn't-
punching it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towel.
Helpful man. He did that for us. And what was so great about this experience was that the women's entrance has a corner, so you can't see it. Now the men's It's straight on. I saw.
You gotta put in display.
I saw the old
sausages.
Coke and Bowls right there, like right in front of me.
So bad.
Everyone could see it from the entrance.
I guess.
Well, here's the question: did you present your Coke and Bowls to the other gentlemen of the establishment?
Well, you're gonna have to understand the rules of being in a sento in Japan.
I don't know. I just know saunas, like European saunas, where you can
Yes.
be naked, like it doesn't matter, and it's men and women
Well-
mixed. It's okay.
Oh no! In most sento in Japan and onsen, they're both the same. Except onsen is natural spring water. Sento just means bath, so it's just a bath that might have mineral water, but it's not coming from a spring, so it's not an onsen.
Yeah.
They are
the rules?
separated by gender usually. There are sometimes mixed ones, but those are probably less common. But the ones traditionally are separated. So
Yes.
there's men, women. And the idea behind this is that bringing in clothes, even dipping your hair in these baths, is not good because you're putting your filth in these baths.
Saunas
And
too.
before-
Can't
yes.
have clothes because it's like it's disgusting.
All right. And what you have to do is when you get in, you have to first shower and clean yourself with soap first before you enter any of these baths. And so that means no clothes. You don't put your clothes on. So I knew this already. This wasn't a shock to me. I knew you're going to have to get naked. And getting naked is what I had to do.
Oh, brave man, the king.
Oh man.
The buttocks were on display.
So the thing was, the only thing that kind of scared me about that was just, where do you get naked? And I didn't
you don't
know.
want to get naked in the wrong place. You're like,
Exactly,
you come in naked in
exactly.
everyone's clothes. It's like, what is this?
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And,
just you come back
and-
to the entrance of the vending machine, just like naked. I need
Exactly.
a towel.
Naked,
Yeah. So
pushing all the buttons.
So I'm there. I go into the men's section. By the way, the person at the desk can be either an old man or old woman,
And they're
they have
naked.
They have view of both.
Okay.
Makes
Well,
sense.
you gotta monitor. No
You gotta
naughty
monitor.
business.
And so I get in. I go to the lockers and I see all these people stripping down, and I'm like, okay, good. At least I know where to get naked.
Yeah, good.
Put all my clothes in my designated locker.
Yeah.
So I take off my shirt, then I take off my pants, take off my socks.
Ladies, you are listening to the right podcast.
I'm just-
This
yes.
just didn't fill.
And I'm
some
just standing
bang
there.
music in there.
I'm just standing there. I'm very unsure because there are no people anymore. There are
Oh,
no
you
people
just
anymore.
myself.
And so I'm still in my underwear, and I'm like, do I do it? Okay,
it. You
I'll do
must.
it. I must do it.
And then,
And then off they go.
Just
And there I am,
Bow.
the only white
Bow,
naked
bow.
man.
standing in the middle of a room.
doing
The only white naked man standing 6 feet tall.
That's really interesting, actually.
And I go inside the bath and I take my soap and my towel and I have to sit in one of those. There's like these showers, but you have to sit. They're not standing showers, they're sitting showers. You have to sit down on a chair.
Oh, a little
Yeah,
chair.
there's a low
okay.
chair. And then you just wash yourself. Now, who knows? Like, I knew that I had to wash myself first, so I did that, thankfully. But then, that kind Japanese man who helped me out and Michaela out with the tickets, he comes in, butt naked, and he's like, come here. And I'm like, all right, I'm following you, buddy.
Where is this going?
And he takes me outside. He takes me outside, and there's an outside bath.
That's
and then he's
cool,
like,
actually.
look up here, look up. And I'm looking, and he says, look, view, good view. And there's the tower in Osaka, and it's shining brightly above us, and it was very nice. And he shows me, here's hot, here's cold. And there's like a pool, you can sit down.
And I know
hot
this
or
part, right?
cold.
You said that you go hot and then you go cold.
No, this was just his English wasn't very good.
Okay.
But basically, he showed me all the different pools that there are, all the different baths, and he showed me the steam room. And the steam room was amazing. You know, like you just get in and it's all steamy and you just stay in as long as you can. You're sweating and it's going into your sinuses and your nose and it's clearing everything up. And then he's like, and then there's cold water. got into, then you just dive into the cold water,
That is kind of sauna like.
ice cold water.
Yeah, it's very. It's not like usually you have like a bucket of cold ice water, or you have like an ice pool you just jump into, or you go outside. But yeah, what a nice man. What a nice man.
I know, right? He's a super nice man. I agree.
Here's my question, Philip. Would you do this if it was like in your city of Zagreb? Like, would you? Did the fact that you're so far away and no one knows you help with the whole situation? Like, would you, now that you liked it, you enjoyed the experience, would you do it like if it was?
Well,
in
here's the
Zagreb?
thing. I want to say this was such a highlight because when I was done sitting in these baths,
Being naked with men was a highlight.
yeah, being just guys being dudes.
It's just guys doing dude things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then finishing and drying myself off and
After you all wagged your dongles together.
and getting out, it felt so good. Like the aftermath of after soaking in this water, it was so good that I had to video call you guys. I mean, I sent you a
remember,
video. That's how much I liked it. That's how much it was really good. And
Did you
to be
ever go to
honest,
sauna before, Phil?
maybe with I think
did.
we might have a few times, but like I was a kid, I didn't appreciate these sorts of things.
Oh, it's obvious. I don't think what kid would appreciate sauna like that.
Yeah,
liked it.
exactly. But I haven't done that
As a
in so
kid.
long, and just like it just made you feel like so like pure.
You're a pure man?
And-
Purified?
Man.
And this was an experience that I did not believe would be like. I thought that I'll go there, but I don't.
Like that was like the last thing you would expect would have such an
Exactly.
impact on you. Like
it was,
that was
complete. Like I did not believe that anything would happen after that. I thought, oh, it's just like taking a bath. It's just some water, whatever, and I get out and it's the same. It's just like I took a shower. That's the feeling. But it was so much different, and I was so convinced about that. Michaela came out, and we're like, we're gonna do this next time. The first thing we do when we get to Japan next time is we just go to a sento or an onsen. We just do that
Nice.
first after the plane ride. Oh,
that's
it was
awesome.
fantastic.
Super
Oh, that would be
recommend.
so good after a plane ride, man.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Just like the crampedness of a seat.
Just chill, relax the muscles.
And so for me, that was a huge highlight because I did not expect that to be that
That's awesome. So number one is environment, the key forest, and so on, and the culture and
good. No, not
the
the
way
key
things are going.
forest. Just
You were
The
mentioning
key forest was
listening to the podcast.
and then number two was the onsen.
Yeah.
so Phil.
So I know. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, there's a lot more, but
you got one. I mean,
I
there's
just
a lot more.
I wanted a lightning. I wanted a lightning round to wrap
Okay.
this. To wrap this
I
up,
wanted a
unless,
lightning
you know-
round too. Okay,
Right, let's do it.
so I'll
You
tell
go
you
your
what
lightning
mine.
round. I'll do my lightning.
I'll
Okay.
tell you what mine is. If yours is the same, you can do yours. So mine was I just went to Google and I wrote in things to do in Japan. I first clicked on the first link and it's 15 best things to do in Japan. I want to see, and I'm gonna go through the list and see what
Okay.
things Phil
Okay,
did.
you go.
Okay, so this is from Trip Hobo. I had to click like 50 ads to get
Okay,
to
you
this.
have to remember that we were mostly in cities. We weren't like
I know. It doesn't matter.
But
I just want
lightning
to know.
round. So
Okay.
answer.
Climb Mount Fuji.
No.
Take Shinkansen.
Yes.
Sign up for sushi making class in Tokyo.
Nah.
Welcome to spring with Hanami.
No, that's in spring.
Tour castles of Japan.
We toured one. There was one. We
Oh,
went
you
to
go.
one.
You got that. You got that.
Nice.
Walk through the neon light ups of Don Tobori in Osaka.
Dotonbori, yes, that was awesome. Like
Okay,
honestly,
good.
this was in Osaka. Osaka compared to Tokyo is so chill and cool, and it's a little more run down. It's less new, but it has more personality. It's great.
Okay, so you got 3 down. So step in the robot restaurant.
No, I don't want to do the robot restaurant.
Okay, watch wild monkeys bathe in the natural hot springs at the
No,
monkey park.
that's in that's in the monkey park. That's far
Walk
away.
through the Arancia bamboo forest. I'm so sorry, Japanese people.
We did that.
Okay, you got
actually.
a number 4.
Ooh.
Sample ramen in Shin-Yokohama Ramen Museum. This looks dope. This place. It looks like
I
a,
don't know, but we had so many-
Shin-Yokohama?
What's it called? Could you say it again?
I'm
Shin
so bad.
Yokohama?
Yes.
We didn't go to Yokohama, but we definitely ate a lot of ramen. And
Okay,
every
that
ramen place we
counts.
went to was excellent. And it was like, some of them were like 500 yen, which is like the equivalent of 4.5 euros. And it
That's
was
pretty good.
It was really good. Everyone was a winner. We just
I'm
went to
gonna
a
count
random
that
place.
one as a get. Okay, so watch a kabuki show.
We were thinking about it. I wanted to, but we'll probably have to do that next time.
All right, so wander through the streets of Naoshima Island.
We didn't go to any islands.
Go scuba diving in Okinawa? Probably not.
No.
Stroll through the wondrous Shinjuku Golden Gai?
Okay, so the thing about Golden Guy is that it's like a little village of little tiny izakaya. You know izakaya, by like these little bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you get chicken on a stick and you get.
Oh, this is what you're talking about, the little bars. Yes, you went to.
Yes. And so Golden Guy is like this place with a lot of them together. You know. Like,
Okay.
And they have like the cool lanterns and stuff. We went to a smaller place in Shinjuku, which was hidden. Like we were passing it by every single time, right next to the train station. Could not find it. There's one little passageway, but you go inside and it's like a little village of bars. So it was close, but we didn't do.
I'll
Golden
count that.
Guy.
That's at 6. And then last one, visit the cat-ruled island of Tashirojima.
No, that's another island. It's full of
Okay,
cats.
so you
but,
got 6. So you got 6 out of 15. I think you did good.
Nice.
I think you did
All right,
great.
so next
Thanks.
lightning round is 15 famous Japanese foods you must try.
All right, let's try
okay.
it.
I see.
Yeah,
I
here we
see. You're
go.
thinking the same.
Okay.
So here we go. I just Googled this now. My actual original question was, I'll leave it at the end.
Okay.
So number 1, sushi.
We went to many sushi places. Honestly, Tim, like I wanted to say, like the sushi places we went to, we didn't even bother going to higher end sushi because the low end sushi was so
Too
good.
good?
It was like a step above the stuff that I can get here,
Mhm.
but it was like 3 times cheaper.
Okay, number 2, ramen.
Ramen.
What
Yeah.
ramen did you try?
I tried pork, chicken, beef ramen. I tried soy sauce ramen.
What was your favorite?
I think the pork one. That's
Pork
like,
one, classic.
yeah, classic.
Tempura.
Yep.
Kare raisu.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
What was your favorite one you had?
The one went with Katie and Eric. We went to like one small shop somewhere close.
Was it chicken, beef, pork?
I think mine was pork.
Okonomiyaki.
Yeah, okonomiyaki was fantastic. It was in one of the best okonomiyaki places you could get in Osaka.
Shabu shabu.
Shabu shabu. We did that because I met a new friend.
What's shabu shabu? I don't know what. I don't recognize that one.
You know hot pot?
No.
Like there's
Fondue.
this like fondue. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. I see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You liked it.
Yeah.
Good. Miso soup. Obviously, you had that with
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
meals, right? Yakitori.
Yakitori. Yes, we went to yakitori as well. Yeah.
Explain what yakitori is for the listeners.
There is in the middle of the table is like a little grill, and you order raw food and you put it on the grill.
Oh, that's stolen
Oh.
from Korea, right?
Yeah.
Are like
I'm sure.
Koreans really
But
angry
yakitori-
that Japan stole like a lot of their culture?
Yeah,
Is
I
that like a
think
thing?
they don't like each other very much, which is unfortunate. But then again, Japan never really apologized for some of the atrocities they did for.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I'm listening to hardcore history, and it's atrocious, my man.
It's pretty bad.
Onigiri.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Yakitori is the chicken on a stick most of the time, but that we had that too.
Chiquito on a stickito?
Yakiniku is the other one. Never mind. Go on. Well,
Onigiri.
yes, of course.
Udon.
Yes, we went to a nice udon place in the countryside.
Soba.
Yes, I had soba and it was cold, and I found out that I made soba when I was younger in America, and it was pretty much the same. So there's nothing special about soba. All right, what's next?
Gyudon.
I had gyudon. There was gyudon. It was very greasy, but it was very satisfying.
Greasy, satisfying, yeah. Omurice.
Did not have oba rice, but I
Omurice.
made it at home once.
What about katsudon?
Katsudon.
Did you have
I had katsudon. Yes, that was the last thing that I had.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
very sad bowl.
Oh, yeah. What about green tea and flavored sweets?
Yep, had those too.
All right, so you pretty much got
I got all
most
of them.
the food.
I know, like at the end of the trip, me and Michaela were like, what else can we eat? We had most of the things that we wanted to try.
Thank you, Tim, for that nice extra
Did you hear that?
pizzazz.
Was that
Yeah.
something? This is the
He was
dangers.
sending.
This
he
is
was
the
sending
dangers
it.
of having the guitars all here laid out.
Listen, Phil.
Anyway,
the
I could
question
talk
is-
more about Japan, but we'll kind of stretch it out to other
Well, I
episodes.
think we're gonna have to leave Terminator 2 for the next episode.
I mean,
now.
all we can
exactly.
say, we can talk about Terminator 2 and how good it is, and that's
in
about
10
it.
minutes. Listen, I wanted to say.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
What were the? This is my question.
What's the
question-
point then choosing? Just like
Listen, my
What's
question.
Tim talking
I don't know
about?
what Tim said.
no.
What
What's
are
the point of choosing Terminator if you're just gonna say it's good? Like, come on, you got to have some reasons why
What
it's
are
good.
the top 3 foods that you had from all these that you like? No, I know you said everything is good. Everything is good. I know, but pick the top 3.
Yeah,
that were
so-
like, I just love them so much. I could just eat that now.
Okay.
So next year, me and Jay go by ourselves, and you have to do the podcast by yourself. And we're in Japan, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
like
yeah.
little girlies going to Japan, and then and you say, Jacob and Tim, you must try these 3 foods, otherwise you're not worthy of the Japan trip. So tell
All
us.
right. Well, I'll tell you.
I'm waiting.
2 of them are from Osaka,
Okay.
and you should go there because it's awesome.
Okay, just tell me the foods and why you like them.
1, takoyaki,
Explain.
octopus balls.
Not the balls from the
I did not
octopus.
expect. I'm not a fan of balls, and I'm not a fan of octopus. So
But
you're
it's
not
wrong.
selling this
It's
to me.
wrong. It's
I said it because I wanted to be funny, but it's literal balls, like literal balls, not testicles.
Phil, that's
They are
unfair.
spheres. They are spheres of dough spheres inside.
Oh, the
these
one that
spheres.
keep turning.
Yeah, they keep turning with those little
Yes.
needles. Yes,
I saw Babish try to do that.
takoyaki.
So you would say that's like, whew.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. It's so fun to eat, and it's delicious. It always has a little tentacle in there, and it's nice and chewy and good.
Second,
Okonomiyaki,
the egg
the pancake.
pancake.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that was also really good. Like it exceeded my expectation on how good it tasted.
Wow.
So I would say those are the 2 things. Everything else was also great, but
there's a third thing I said.
the
What's the
third
third
thing,
thing?
sushi, just anywhere, just go and get sushi. It's always good there. Like
What
you
if
can't,
I'm not a fan of sushi?
you're not? Well, you
No, I
should
think
try
I'll just
it
switch
anyway.
for ramen. I'll just go for ramen. I'm
Okay,
a big fan
then
of ramen. I love
If
ramen.
you do ramen, there's so much ramen. Like before I went to Japan, I was kind of I took like 100-day streak on Duolingo to try to learn some of the katakana, hiragana. Suffice to say, it didn't help much because you can't just learn these things. It's hard to remember them. But I could always read the signs that say ramen. So I was like, oh, there's a ramen place. Oh, there's another ramen place over there. There's more ramen. And there's so
what
much
would you
ramen.
what would you suggest to me? Because I'm like a miso guy. I like the umami, just like super savory kind of flavor, not in the whole sea flavor, fishy stuff. That's gross to me. So I'm in that. Like, what would be an extra crazy like miso? Like, what's the next
That's
degree
true.
you go
yeah,
that
what is the next
direction
level?
of just like
What do you mean?
it's like
Oh, you
porkiness.
told me. You told me. One of the
porkiness
ramens
and
you
just
had-
like
Tonkotsu ramen.
No, I know. Phil had.
yeah,
one
miso
ramen.
tonkotsu.
He told
I
me.
have that usually. Is there not a level deep where it's like
Phil said that there
Fatness.
was one where he tried chicken. Ramen,
Chicken, yes,
which was like creamy and fatty.
We just stumbled
Yes.
randomly. We randomly found a ramen festival kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
and they were just this like it's just these stands, and these stands were selling ramen from different regions in Japan. And the unfortunate thing was there was no English, so I just had to Russian roulette it, right? And I picked a chicken ramen, and you'd think it would taste like chicken soup, and I was expecting that, but it was so creamy and it was so greasy, and it was very savory chicken ramen.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I'll try that. I'll try some
I'll try everything.
savory chicken.
Also, tempura is excellent.
Oh man, I would love to try that tempura.
Yeah,
It'll be good.
The only thing I won't try is the
gyudon. You should
caviar
try gyudon.
sushi.
Gyudon's great too.
That's the only
Gyudon
thing I wouldn't try.
is cheap.
I had udon. It's good. I mean, I had to hear Europe, so I don't know if.
Udon or gyudon.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant udon. Udon.
That was on the list.
What's
We
gyudon?
skipped gyudon. What is that?
Gyudon is little, like really thin strips of pork that is fried, and
Oh, that's the hot pot.
no, it's already fried, and you can put like onions on it. You can put whatever on it, and it's on top of rice,
Okay.
and it's like just greasy goodness.
Do you know what I would love to try again? I only had it once, not in Japan. Is eel.
Oh yeah, unagi eel.
Unagi.
That stuff
Eel is basically grilled eel
It's
with
kinda-
soy sauce.
yeah.
Sauce.
It's kind of expensive, but it's really good. Like
I love it though.
yeah, it was like $15 for like a.
It's expensive. And it's
So
served
you-
on a
so you
bed of
didn't have-
rice.
Well, I was going through the list, but like Did you have a wasabi Kit Kat?
I bought it.
Phil
didn't
brought
I?
like tons of them.
Did you have some Kobe? Did you get some
No.
Kobe beef? No, too expensive.
What
Right?
I- what I-
100,
what-
100 euros.
Yeah, well,
100
what I heard was people like restaurants that say they have Kobe beef or Wagyu beef.
Yeah, Wagyu. That's what.
They just say they do because you can't tell. So I guess I think your best bet is
Bakery.
going to Kobe, the actual place. And
Okay.
getting the beef there would be the
Tried
best
and true.
option. So that's why I avoided any.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
Did you go to a
So-
karaoke bar?
We did.
Mm.
Yes.
Good.
And you know what?
Send some
I can
vids.
see why it's fun, but it is a bit expensive, more expensive than I thought.
Do you know what they should have? Karaoke at the onsen.
Karaoke.
Now,
What?
That's a party at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now that's a party.
just like wireless microphones, just because of safety.
yeah. I helped this Western man.
yeah.
Showed him the stars.
All right, we got to talk about Terminator 2.
Okay, so that was Phil in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Ask
We
him
might
questions.
have a few-
You,
ask
if,
him
you have,
questions.
if you're planning a
We might
trip,
have some more lightning rounds in the next episode.
That's right.
maybe.
We actually went with a pretty cheaply. We did things very low budget.
Budget wise, good.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Good. That's excellent. So let's talk about Terminator now. So in 3 minutes, what can we say about Terminator 2?
no, he I'll start it off. And it's like, you pick Terminator 2 and it's like, it's great. It's a great movie, right?
It's one of
It's a
the
classic.
best movies
It's a
ever,
classic.
in my opinion.
But it's like, I am not like, okay, here's the thing, right? So The Matrix, right? It's a classic movie. It's a classic movie. Everyone loves it, right? And I've seen that movie like a million times. And anytime you want to play The Matrix, I'll say yes, I'll watch it. I know all the lines. It's been referenced 1,000 times. It's been influencing a million things. But it's a thing of my childhood that I can watch a million times. Terminator 2 is not a thing of my childhood. I get it why it's amazing and I love it. But it's like, I was watching and I was like, yeah, it's a good movie. But it was like, there's no, besides that bus thing, there's like this, just, if somebody saw this when they were like, 12, they'd love it to death. And it's crazy. I've seen so much influence, how it influenced movies, like even how it influenced Matrix. There's so many things that I didn't notice before, especially after we did the Matrix podcast. There's the cop. There's, scenes when he's morphing, into the helicopter. There's action scenes. There's the glasses. There's so much that, this influenced the Matrix. It's pretty cool. I have to say.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
True.
I always thought that you could combine the Terminator story with the Matrix because, like, the machines take over Skynet,
Mhm.
and then the war of
That's another
machines
thing, yeah.
happens, and then it just develops into the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought. I don't know. Like, Jacob and I were watching the movie just a few hours ago, and
Mm-hmm. What do you
all I
think?
can say is it's really good.
I mean, yeah, I have to say that it's a very, very, very good film in my opinion. It just does everything basically what we talked about between the first and the second. The first nails sort of that thriller vibe and the concept. The second movie, like you mentioned, Tim, the sort of an aliens type.
Yeah, the second one
Scenario-ish.
becomes like an adventure.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, it's an adventure sort of story with elements from the first, but done well. I think done in a way where
It still retains the tone of Terminator.
when it's very serious.
Bleak.
Yeah,
It's still bleak, but it has some levity. It's not.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
as. It's not as dark and grim dark, if you will, like Terminator 1.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
You know what's popular in Japan?
No.
Terminator.
Really?
Yeah, they
They
like
love-
Terminator.
If
don't
I
know
have
why.
anything like negative to say watching this movie after not seeing it for a long time, the cinematography and the quality of the film is amazing. It was just like a lot of times I actually felt like I was watching a modern movie, just how it looked. But I have to say the sound design does not match the video, unfortunately.
really.
What?
There's just so many sounds that just pop up. They just I was like, what is this? It's just
Really?
like
What?
a punch. Like there's like somebody pulls a punch and it's just like a 60s punch, like just like
Yeah, the-
what? Like it was there was and there's some ADR and stuff like that. Like there's the ADR when John Connor's talking to Terminator. I think of like, oh, about the poem or whatever it is about, there's no fate or whatever. And it was
There's
just
no
like
fate
so-
but what we make for ourselves.
That was just what?
I was just like, woof, woof, woof.
That
I was
was-
like, and there's
that
like
was too
no
much.
sound in the background. It was a bit too much. But compared to the new movie that we watched, which has no clever bits, there was just some stuff that I thought was clever. I think, and this is not specifically to Terminator 2, but this is a Terminator 1 and 2 thing. I think it's super clever that they come in naked, and it's not because you get to see ass. It's more like,
But they just
Did
got
they
out
have-
from a bathhouse.
yeah, it's more about that. It's a good story kind of technique that they can't bring anything into the future except themselves, and they have to use like modern technology of the time
right,
to fight them. I think that's really cool. Like if Terminator had a laser gun, I think it would be 1,000 times lamer because he's in a new world that he has to adjust to as well. He doesn't he doesn't have all the advantages, even though he's
Right.
from the future. So I think like there's just that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the fact that they figure out in Terminator 2 that the shotgun is the most effective thing because he's so liquid. Like, they shoot handguns in him, which is a small caliber, and that creates a small hole. By the end of the movie, they're all just using shotguns against liquid
that's
Terminator. Because, it's a shotgun. It's like a spread of shots, so it does the most damage to him because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Oh, I
what
didn't
he is.
notice that. It's
Interesting.
And it's just like it's there's some clever bits. I mean, there's obviously some tropey stuff like why would he have a visual interface? Like it's a good story way, it's the same thing like Iron Man's helmet. Like that's so unrealistic and stupid and not a real actual frame of seeing Iron Man's face and like the interface thing. Same thing with a machine. Why would a machine need a visual interface? Like why would it need a camera with little lines going? Like it's a computer. It doesn't need to see things like that.
I
It needs to
know.
like you could maybe explain it to say like, oh, this is for like, like when a human is reviewing the tapes, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like it's an enjoyable movie. I think like the most thing that I like about it just the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You have John
Yeah.
Connor, the Bradley kid who has heart. You have Terminator turned from machine trying to be human. You have Sandra Connor who's just like a
Santa Connor.
Santa Connor, who's turned into like crazy. Like I love the craziness. It absolutely disappears in Dark Fate, nowhere to be seen. She's nuts. She wants to kill some people. She's like all goes
we were
all
watching
like
the sad story of Miles Dyson.
No, man. Honestly, that's one thing. Rewatching it now, when you're older and you rewatch the movies, have you noticed different things? I felt so bad for Miles Dyson.
That poor
Honestly,
man.
to me, this watch for me was more like the tragedy of Miles Dyson.
Yeah.
Just made me
Yeah.
feel so horrible. And I also
and,
felt
and her whole speech of she's like, oh, you never create anything. Like, don't be harsh.
Oh,
But I like
man.
that her son interrupts her. Like that was like
that was
okay,
great.
this was getting too.
You're
too,
creating
too
life.
preachy.
You don't know what it feels like to
he's
have
like,
life
"Mom."
Yeah.
inside your body. All you know
And
is to create is death.
And I'm personally like that's like a personal thing to me. Like I just hate when people like put all the blame on technology, whatever is happening, either being environmental change or health issues. Like no, it's always like don't blame technology. Technology is always good and it's usually created by really smart people. It's usually greedy corporations or whatever that just ruins it for everyone. But then they go like, you never like that's the argument, like when somebody's talking, like we talked about on the podcast before, when someone's like, oh, there's a new development in AI, and it's like, it's Skynet coming. It's like, let the technology be, like let people create new stuff and
Let Boston Dynamics exist without you.
let them
having to
exist. It's
say-
not Skynet. Worry about your government. Worry about corporations. Don't worry about some people creating cool things. They're just nerds geeking out and making cool stuff.
I agree. And then
I totally agree.
Then the second thing that was also very surprisingly emotional was the ending with the Terminator. It was really interesting that I connected more with the Terminator character in this film than any character in the new movie.
I know now
And
you cry.
it was that
With
just
a
says
robot.
something, that just says
So
something.
it's like that Rakes Up song. I fell in love with a robot.
Very cool idea, I think.
I know
with
now why you
having
cry.
Arnold be the protector robot,
It is something I can never do.
So
It just works on so many
highlights.
levels. You know, create the robotic. I just think it's so clever. I don't know. Like I mean, obviously Arnold has some, you know, charm to him, and it made it work. But the idea alone, I think, is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they keep making those movies.
One thing I actually love about
Sounds
Terminator
like,
2 specifically is that it's one of those movies that just nails the pacing and the settings.
Yes, yeah, and I don't
Every
think.
time I watch it, I forget what happens next. I'm like, oh yeah, this happens now.
And
oh yeah.
Also, it's just so interesting. I was just, you know, like looking at what happens in the film. There's a lot of time where nothing happens. Like there's no action. You know, there's a lot of breathing room. Remember where they go out into the desert and then they meet her, like Sarah's friends over there, and they stay there for quite a bit of time. You know, like after
It's
that,
like the whole the
middle
daddy
part. Yeah,
where it's like father figure stuff when they're fixing the truck.
yeah, and then by the end of that, that's when Sarah just goes to try to kill Miles Dyson and prevent the entire apocalypse from happening, and then after that, it's climax. That's it. It's third act.
That's it. That's a really interesting thing you say, because that's something that I noticed watching older movies, and it's like sort of staple post 70s, you know, action movies and big blockbuster stuffs. There's not a lot of that happens. It's just that they do actually take their time through the elements. It's not like 1,000 elements, maybe like 5 or 6 set pieces, but they're thought out through. They have a meaning, and you know, they have something special about them, and that's interesting. That this is one of them as well.
It is in your nature to destroy yourselves.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe cut out the narration from Sarah Connor.
Santa Connor.
Where was the narration of Santa Connor?
I just threw out the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of narration myself. Maybe that's a personal thing.
So, what did you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Is there narration there?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Brad Pitt.
No. Kurt Russell doing the narration.
Oh, Kurt Russell.
But that was like I guess. But that's
It was like
narration
a joke.
from a different person than protagonist. I'm okay with protagonist. It's too like booky. It's like
Okay.
can't do that.
Right.
It's too booky to me. I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Come on, Jacob. What could say something
what?
about Terminator?
Say
2?
something.
Why is it good? Why is it good?
Why is it good? I told you why it's good.
What did you tell me?
What did you say?
Repeat yourself.
I thought the point of us is not to repeat ourselves.
I know.
I was working
I
hard not
guess
to
it
repeat
is.
We're getting
myself.
tired, apparently.
I was working hard.
I'm the last couple of drops of this 1 liter beer. I'm
fine.
feeling it.
So in conclusion, what I would say is what makes the movie an enjoyable film is that it's a movie that was taken care of from start to finish, where James Cameron, or Tim, I forgot what you called him. There's a good one. Cameron Winter.
Cameron Mitchell.
That's a good one too. When James Cameron wanted to do something different
Yeah.
from the first one, he took his idea, the concept, into a different direction, trying new things that made sense in the context of the world that was built in the first one,
And made it bigger
and made it bigger. And
because that's what people wanted.
yeah, but in this case, this is a good example of a classic good sequel, in my
Yeah.
opinion. You know, back in the day, sequels would come out later, years later, they'd be developed, and they'd be like,
What's the
a
difference
cool
between
idea?
these two movies? Because Sarah Connor looks very different. She's much older. What's the difference between T1 and T2?
Basic difference? Years?
No,
I think
years.
Oh, you mean, well,
Not too long. 7, 8, 9.
T2 is supposed to take place in 1995.
And T1?
But what was
84?
it?
84.
So 10 years?
But T2 was filmed in 1990.
I know, but basically 10-year difference
yes.
would be the case.
Well, that's that's like between two Sin Cities. It was like 10 years, and that was like, oh, it's too long. You cannot.
Oh, you mean in real
No,
life?
real life, you mean?
In real life.
Oh, 6 years.
6 years. See?
Okay, it's
And-
not that, but it's that weird, like sequel 3 or 4 years after is like the prime time, and then
Yeah, but
6 years is like the weird. It's like because like 10 years is like it returns. No one thought
you-
it would return.
But you have to remember, Tim, we have to also take into context that movies used to run a lot longer back in the day.
What do you mean?
In cinemas.
Well, like in the cinema.
Oh, in cinemas, yes.
So
yes.
you might have Terminator running for a year.
still
maybe
still
year and a
running while
half.
Terminator 2 comes out.
No, I'm serious. So I think it was in the collective consciousness. I don't know. I didn't live in 84, but I do believe that was slower. It was more in the consciousness. And then when you think like, oh yeah, I forgot about Terminator. There's a sequel coming out. Amazing. Let's go watch it.
Yeah. And
dear listener, if you lived in those
Yes,
ages
please.
in 1984,
Yeah,
tell
tell
me,
us.
was it
Was
fresh in your
Jacob
mind?
true or was he a false one?
T2,
Yeah,
or were you
because-
like, oh god, I thought it was over. I didn't want to watch no more
And
T's.
when I just want
because it's so funny because nowadays you can't miss a movie.
you can't miss a movie.
No.
Phil Dragish.
Nowadays, here's like an example is I can't remember what movie it was, but I was like, I'll watch this movie in cinemas, right? And a couple weeks go by, and it's like, I'll watch the movie now, and I check, they not playing it anymore.
Right. What I was just gonna say was that
They didn't do
the
that
initial
back then.
premise of making the sequel was good, and this is a good example
Yes.
of something that they're extending the world, trying something different. And then when you put them together, the first and the second, they make sense and you get different things from both.
Yeah.
You might not like, for instance, the second one as much, for instance, right?
You might prefer one or the
You might
other.
prefer one or the other, but they have two very different flavors in the same essence,
Yes.
which is what makes the
That's
two
what makes
films
it good. And also, what it tried to do, the second one, it closed the loop.
That's right. That's what I also. It's great point, Phil. So in the first one, right, we have this concept where the Terminator comes from the future to kill Sarah Connor to have the machines win. They succeed.
Make a baby.
They think they succeed, right? But yes, they make a baby, so they create the loop of the John
Yeah.
Connor and stuff like that. But then in the second one,
But at the end of the first one was the storm was coming. You know, it's inevitable.
right. But then in the second one, they defeat the machine. They defeat the possibility of potentially creating Skynet in the future.
Yeah.
Bleak
and
future.
Which reminds me, we're back to the deleted scene. What is going on there? What's with the old Santa Connor?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well,
I
I don't know what this is.
We don't know what this is either. But
Because I remember having a DVD of this, and in the commentary, James Cameron said that scene with Sarah Connor in the future was a deleted scene.
I clearly remember we used to have
Yeah.
the DVD and I guess the Blu-ray, and it was a deleted scene. We never saw it before. And we're like, what is this? And then we watched it years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really interesting idea for an end, but it doesn't fit
But
the movie.
they did not intend to put it in the movie at all.
Right. Because like I told you, Tim, the ending of the film, after the Terminator dies, it fades to black, and then Sarah Connor
Mhm.
narrates, and she says, like, that day we stopped, Judgment Day, the future isn't written, so on and so forth.
If a machine can learn the value of human life, perhaps we can too.
And it goes, dun, 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 dun.
It ends.
And all you see is, it's great because it's night, and all you see is just the road, like a shot of just like from a top view of the road going forward.
And that's it.
That's it. Which is great.
The music by Brad Fidel.
By Brad Fetus.
He
Brad Fidel.
he retired from doing movie scores. I don't know what he does anymore, but he did Terminator 1 on synth.
That was
Right?
good.
It's
I
good
didn't like
stuff.
soundtrack for Terminator 2.
What? But Terminator 2 is on synth as well, except it's just a more advanced.
No. I like the synths, but I think it didn't really match some of the scenes, the tone. I think it needed a little bit more oomph.
Anyway,
sometimes.
Okay, but there is this wonderful video someone made of them using the same keyboard that Brad Fidel used for Terminator 2, and they're playing all the samples he used, and it was very fascinating.
Are you going to link it?
I better. It's on YouTube.
I really like that weird theme that has the strangely sort of melancholy theme. If you it's like the melody isn't action, it isn't horror, it's very like romantic to me, but it just fits so well at the end of Terminator 2 when he's being lowered into the lava. I just like it's like a I would say strange coincidence that in the end it just works so well.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I don't think because the theme is like he didn't have plans of Terminator 2 being good guy going into lava, but just that from 1 to 5 chord progression, just like that resolve is just like beautiful.
I know.
The
It's one of the
Terminator,
best themes.
the whole Terminator theme, the leitmotif. It's just tragic. That's what it is. Sad. It's a sad song.
No, I think the way I see it is it's tragic in a way, but I think it's also that theme of like the hopeful, like the humans always trying, because it's dun, 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 dun. It's like very serious, almost like dun, 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 dun. And then it resolves like them said dun, 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 and then it's like let's move forward, but be careful, enemies. Dun, 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 dun.
And it's got that weird 17/8 rhythm,
Right,
which is awesome.
You mean the dun, 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 like in the
and it took me a while, but I But his explanation, as far as the YouTube videos watch, it was like combination of the theme being very human, very emotional, while the drums were very robotic and mechanical, like the mixture of two things.
Yeah. Cool.
I think that's it.
Would you recommend Terminator 2?
Absolutely, 100%.
Timothy?
Would you recommend Dark Fart?
No.
No.
Maybe
Any
if
circumstance.
maybe if you liked Terminator stuff, I guess you could.
Guess
Guess
if you want
so.
to be
Like in my opinion,
fools
I
like
watched
us.
it. You know what? It was. I mean, like for me, I didn't think.
Well,
it was
you're not going to say it was a ride. What?
No. I was. I'm just gonna
No.
say it wasn't a complete like. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I would say it's not.
I liked
garbage.
seeing Linda. Yeah. I liked seeing some of the actors again. I liked seeing them talk, and I liked seeing Arnold being a T Model 101 T800.
You're Philip. You're one of these people that's the problem. You're like we're watching these movies and you're going like, why is there so many remakes? Who goes to see this shit? Like why
I'm
is
doing
there
it for the
these
podcast. I wouldn't have
subpar-
watched it otherwise.
these subpar like Disney
I didn't
remakes.
see Genesis. I didn't
reboots.
see Jurassic World 2.
And I'm like
I
wondering,
didn't
like,
see.
When was the
I'm
last
not
time
the
you were
problem.
Philip, when was the last time you were excited about a new IP? I don't remember you being excited about a new movie that's completely unrelated. It's Jurassic Park? Ooh, let's go see Jurassic Park. Because it's my
true.
childhood. You're the problem, Philip.
That's not.
We're turning back to shitting on Phil.
It was just one incident. That was Jurassic World, and that was a regret.
What was the last time you, like, didn't we do the homework thing and you couldn't think of one movie except Batman?
You mean that we asked them what's your most inspired film, and then we were looking for post 2010s.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the homework. What happened to that?
all right. Killing of a
Yeah.
Sacred
What was the last
Deer.
time you were excited by something new? Something new. That's not something that you're familiar with. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you want me to say? Killing of a Sacred Deer. Amelie.
That's a
that?
cool movie though.
I don't know.
weren't
I'm just
excited about that.
pulling stuff out of my butt so you guys will get off my back.
Yeah, I know.
we have no
Don't worry.
idea.
Anyway, listen. I wouldn't have seen this
Oh,
film.
we did it. We did it.
Phil is
We did
angry.
it. Phil.
He's angry.
I wouldn't have.
Oh,
I
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
have seen this film if it wasn't for the podcast.
Okay. What's the
Okay.
lesson you learned? What did you learn?
I love bothering you with
experience.
these sorts of things, so I'm gonna keep doing
But
it.
what did you learn? What did you learn? Has this brought any new knowledge to you?
What is the
This-
new
this-
knowledge?
Watching Dark Fate with Terminator 2. What did you learn?
That Terminator 2 is a lot better than I thought it was because of this movie.
Interesting. Jacob?
That's actually true. Exactly. No, I'm not gonna lie. That is true. Terminator 2 is deeper appreciation for Terminator 2.
By the way, I love Power Rangers.
I have an idea.
I've
What if-
never seen the
I
new
like
movie,
Power Rangers too.
and I never will.
I've seen it. It's
What?
Not, it's
You
not,
saw
it's
the
See,
Power
look at this! Look at
Rangers?
this man! Look at this hypocrite.
What happened?
Before us, he's saying that I'm the problem, and he's the one who's like, I watched Power Rangers, the new one. I didn't even care about that, and I forgot about it. I forget about all these films because I don't go and watch them. I just watched it for this podcast, and now this little thing was just used as a hook to make me feel inadequate and terrible.
This is the quality podcasting I'm looking for on this show, and I think we hit it at the end of the episode.
Well, you know, we had to a little bit. You know, that's tradition.
So
now
I
at
think
this
on that
point.
note,
You and your hair, you're just combing your hair now. I see you on the
interesting.
video.
We have a hypocrite and an angry man. This is interesting. So
It's interesting. It's falling apart.
We're gonna finish on that
send
note,
love.
and we're gonna say thank
Send
you for
love.
listening
We need it.
to the. I hear the music in the background.
You know what? I want to see Toy Story 4,
The
but
music
I
should
haven't
have
seen
come
it.
earlier.
Toy Story is my childhood, but I didn't watch Toy Story 4.
All right, and thank you everyone for listening, and we will see everyone again in 2 weeks. And anything
Do you think I
final words?
watched Jurassic World 2?
All right, thank you everyone. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
That's it. Are we good?
That was hilarious.